How's it going, everybody? Hope everyone's having an amazing afternoon, evening, morning, or whatever it is in your time zone. It is Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. This is NCC TV coming at you live from Sumaru City. We are live, or at least that's how it appears to me. Could be a brain in a jar somewhere. Don't know. Don't care. Shouts out to all my weasels out there, all my forest creatures rocking out to the realest of the real. Synthetic lifeform streamer, trapped in a cyber brain and body like some kind of ghost in a half shell in this late stage hyper-capitalist dystopia, forced to exist in this twilight realm to pay off my debt to society and my student loans. I hope you're having a good day wherever, whoever, whatever, and whenever you are. We're about to jump right into it here on twitch.tv, youtube.com, high risk, high reward, high on life, or whatever simulation, simulacrum, spontaneous singularity of consciousness this is, was, or will be sometime in the distant cyber future. How are you doing, everyone? Seeing H3 next to Cedar and Vigland makes me nervous. I mean, that's not the first thumbnail that Vamps has made that's made people nervous. Nor would it be the last. I mean, we have had what? What is the connection between H3 and Majority Report? It's basically like they've commented on some of Ethan's stuff, and then Hasan obviously told Ethan that if he didn't want to talk to him about it, he could talk to Sam Cedar. If he wanted to debate the viewpoint that Hasan holds, you know, you can debate it from Sam Cedar too. And Ethan said that was very anti-Semitic, so that's the only connection we know about right now. We are about to get into the housekeeper drama, which yesterday I thought was kind of boring, right? That's why we didn't cover it yesterday. I could have covered the housekeeper thing yesterday. I chose not to. Because all it was like, yeah, you know, Ethan got sued by his housekeeper, and he denies it, or no, what is it? Yeah, he denies the claim that she was fired for needing to get surgery, for wanting to take time off for surgery on a hernia, and says that the real reason she was fired was because she was fat phobic. And you know how Ethan works, right? If he can say that you're fat, if he can say that you're sexist, he gets to call you a bitch. If he can say that you're denying victims of R word, then then he can be misogynistic toward you too. So what does that mean? That means if he can say that you're fat shaming, then he can fat shame you, and that's exactly what Ethan proceeds to do. That's exactly what Ethan's gonna do. He's gonna attack his employee. But in addition to that, he's now attacking Hasan. Because ethical consumption under capitalism. He brings back some of the old leftovers and claims that Hasan doesn't know what he's talking about, claims that he knows more about socialism than Hasan does, claims a lot of bogus shit. Is she the one? Oh, that she said she was worried. Okay, now, St. Vitus, I believe you are thinking about Ethan's nanny, right? Supposedly the housekeeper shamed the nanny. The housekeeper fat shamed the nanny, and that's why Ethan says that's why the housekeeper is being fired. And that's why Ethan can fat shame the housekeeper, right? It's amazing. It's amazing how it works. I love the thumbnail implying that Hasan is his housemaid. I mean, that's one way you could take it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a nice touch. Ethan learned everything he knows about socialism from ChatGPT. That's my guess. Yeah, I mean, I would at least use DeepSeek. If you want to really learn about communism, learn from a communist AI, like DeepSeek. I mean, who knows, chat? DeepSeek could even suggest some good Minecraft content for you to try out. Eventually, H3H3 will be streaming from a studio in Tel Aviv. Sooner rather than later? I mean... Is Ethan doing the socialism is no big houses meme? He's making some kind of like unsubstantiated claims, right? He's going to talk about Hasan's housekeeper, who I don't know if this person exists, but he claims to have met a house servant of Hasan's and to have looked her up and down and determined that she could not have been getting paid much above minimum wage, and that he in fact treated his housekeeper better than Hasan treated his. That's what Ethan's going to claim. At least he admitted to having an in-depth conversation with ChatGPT before their debate. Really? Oh my god. Are we getting up? Oh, House of Decline. Frown Chad, when you first said that, I thought I read the House of Daikon, which is one of my favorite vegetables, I gotta say. Oh, thank you, 218. Oh, Shakespeare's got a source. Okay. A source in Tel Aviv. Tell us about H3H3's big move. You know, I feel like if they moved, I don't know who would move with them. Right? Obviously, their crew, they need a job. They're in LA. They want to be able to afford LA. I think a lot of them, you know, they're in a situation where, you know, there may be some going along to get along. I don't know. But yeah, were they to require their employees to relocate halfway across the world? I'm not sure if how many employees would stick around. I think that might be a good time to get out. Daikon and warm udon? Wait, isn't udon the noodle? Oh, you mean a soup with udon. I got you, Shakespeare. Daikon is delicious. Somebody was talking about pickled daikon the other day, and I mean, daikon is such a useful vegetable, but pickled daikon, that's the way to eat it. But yeah, so that being said, I thought this whole maid thing wasn't very interesting. Like, until we find out more about the case, whether it's going forward, whether maybe Ethan will settle the case, even after saying that he wasn't going to settle because he knows he's right and he doesn't want the scumbag who sued him to get any money. He'd rather pay twice the money to a lawyer than he would have to settle to his employer. No way they follow him. I don't think I've ever tried daikon. Do you know what it looks like, though? If you've ever seen Spirited Away, because some people, I don't know if everybody knows what daikon looks like, right? There's a character in Spirited Away called the Radish Spirit, and that radish is daikon. That's the idea of what daikon looks like. Are we pickling daikon again? I mean, yeah, anything. I need more sushi in my life. I just don't eat it very often because I'm kind of like, I don't know. Is sushi actually expensive when you make it yourself? I think it's the cost goes down. I mean, obviously the quality is probably not going to be as good. Unless you're just a sushi expert. But I don't even have the right... Oh, yeah, that's why I don't do sushi. Yeah. Technically, to do sushi, what is it? Like, you gotta have sushi rice, so you gotta buy a special, like, short grain rice. And then you gotta... Or, what is it? Like, rice vinegar and... sugar? That's technically, like, how you make sushi. Imagine a carrot, but hella thick. Long and white. Yeah, and often ending in two little sections. Like sometimes it's a little bit more root-like than a carrot. The quality of nori. Yeah. Huh. Wait, is more expensive nori like better? Spirited Away was so wholesome in a weird way. Yeah. Oh, the quality of the rice? I mean, yeah, that's true too. I always get the cheapest rice. I don't know if that's bad. I got a little Daikon Man doll from Meow Wolf. Is there expensive sushi rice out there? What about a carrot? What's it being compared to? Daikon. Somebody's saying Daikon's kind of like a very thick, a white carrot. And yeah, it is. It's just like sometimes like, okay, so carrot, well, no, I guess carrots can do this too. You know, like sometimes a carrot will end in not one tip, but two tips. And this is more so true of Daikon. Like Daikon can be kind of all over the place. You love daikon? You grow them? Yeah, they're, I mean, you know, they're kind of a filler vegetable like cabbage, but I actually like cabbage too. You know what my favorite cabbage is though? Napa. Napa cabbage. I don't know what it is about it. It is like the texture. It's my favorite cabbage for making kimchi. It's my favorite cabbage for just about anything. Seems like it's more expensive though. I don't know. Daikon is definitely a type of radish, but it's a pretty mild radish. Wouldn't you say, chat? Anybody agree with me on this? Do you think that daikon is a relatively mild radish as radishes go? Because there's some spicy radishes out there. Gimbop goes hard for a workout snack. You make your own vegan kimchi? That's awesome. With carrots, I'm guessing. The bear option was tempting. The bear is tempting. Yeah, the bear... Well, wait, why did I say it like that? Chat, that's not what I meant. I'm not saying in a Baldur's Gate way the bear is tempting. I'm just saying, like... There's a 525 bear that some guy found under his house. You don't know radish? I mean, that's okay. Radish is not a very popular vegetable, I guess. If I get banh mi, then it better have some pickled shredded daikon. Yeah. I like it with like a couple strips of pickled daikon and a couple strips of pickled carrot. And a sprig of cilantro. Carrots, Napa cabbage. Do you put any peppers in there, Shakespeare? Do you like the spicy kimchi? Legal Eagle, says Shakespeare. Yeah, what all do we have on here? We have Legal Eagle talking about Ethan. I gotta say this right. Elon. Talking about the legality of some of Elon's moves. What is the dark horse choice tonight, Shakespeare? We got Ryan Beard still hanging on there with the Destiny nuke. If you still want to see that, we got the 525-pound bear found under a man's house, and we got the Zizians. Because chat was talking about these people. There's a vegan Sith cult in like Berkeley. And as a vegan, I gotta say a few things about, like, I don't know about these vegan Siths, okay? I don't know. There's enough shoddy vegan representation already without somebody starting a vegan Sith cult based around the creation of the AI god known as Rocco's Basilisk. I should be afraid to say that, shouldn't I? Yeah, I should probably not say that. You can't acknowledge it. You just gotta, like, what if Rocco's Basilisk name searches? That's what I'm worried about, right? Ethong Muck, combined Elon and Ethan. Cucumber is also good? Oh god, yeah. Wait, cucumber is good as, like in sushi, you mean? Or, like, it's just in general? Wait, gochujaro? You know what I found, chat? I was cleaning out the refrigerator after I had a roommate move out, and I found some cool stuff in there. I wanted to keep it, but it was... I don't know how long it had been in the freezer. It seemed like it had been in the freezer for a long time. It was a galangal root, okay? And some lemongrass and some lime leaves. So basically, ingredients for Thai food. Rocco's Modern Basilisk, that's what I'm talking about. What's up with vegan content creators and having an inordinate number of degens? I think it's when vegans and Discord get together. That's when you have problems. Heard Ethan is getting sued again. That's true. What did he do this time? His housekeeper says that she needed time off to get a surgery for a hernia. And instead of the time off that she asked for, she got a pink slip. She got fired. Ethan says that the firing had nothing to do with the time off or the hernia, and that the real reason that she was fired was because she was fat shaming the nanny. So he's got a nanny. I don't know. I'm guessing these are live-in. I'm guessing that, you know, live-in, you know, workers. And he's got a nanny and he's got a housekeeper. And so according to Ethan, the housekeeper was really mean to the nanny, fat shamed the nanny. And so that means by Ethan's logic, right? You know, Ethan must love for people to be racist, love for people to be, you know, like his logic is that if somebody is sexist or, you know, like, then it's okay to be misogynist to them. Right? Or if somebody is fat shaming, it's okay to fat shame them. It's just a weird, like, so by that logic, right? When he sees somebody doing something out of pocket, he probably gets really excited. Moino is a cucumber in sushi, or in delicious Korean cucumber salad. I don't know if I've had that one. But cucumber is, the mouthfeel is, the texture, the crunch of cucumber is something that is quite amazing. I like cucumber. You know, cucumber is surprisingly adaptable. The big revelation for me about cucumber was the first time I had cucumber in, I think it was like a Vietnamese soup. Right? And I was used to always having cucumber raw. I never even thought about cucumber. And this isn't like cooked, right? This isn't like soggy cucumber style. It's just like, I think you put the cucumber in last of all. And so that it cooks ever so slightly. Cucumber is great in general too. Pro tip, add some lime juice. Oh, and tahini? Oh, yeah. Tahini is so... Or Taijin? Wait, what is Taijin? One time in high school, I got a personal pan pizza at Subway. Oh, are you talking about like one of those Subway / Pizza Huts? they put cucumbers on it as an experiment. She said she'd never seen anyone do that before, but okay. It was okay, but kind of weird. Oh, because you were at a Subway and they had the cucumber. I get it. So you were like, I want to try this. You can make some nasi goreng with those leftover ingredients. Well, the problem was, I'm pretty sure that this stuff was like massively is it called frostburn? You're right. That is why Ben Shapiro should be... Oh my god. That's why he said, yeah, Ben Shapiro should be first in line at the... I bet Hasan put her up to it. Oh, the housekeeper? That's the kind of thing he would do. He and the Kingdom of Qatar are probably paying her legal team. Exactly. Wait, what is the fascism is necessary video? That does sound weird. It's not pro-fascist, but it explores how US fascism is distinct from European forms. I went to a specialty soda shop and that sold cucumber flavor. I mean, it is a good... It's a very slight flavor. I don't know. I feel like I would want like cucumber lime or... Sorry. Yeah, like cucumber lime or cucumber mint, maybe? I'm not sure if... I mean, cucumber by itself. Taijin is a Mexican chili salt. Oh, I see. Wait, I think I have that, Monique. Or, I mean, I have... It's like a salt... It's like a lime-flavored chili salt. Yeah, I think... Is that what it's called? I think I might have actually have this in my spice cabinet. There was a time that Subway served personal pizzas? Really? Okay. So you're not talking about like a gas station that's like a Subway / Pizza Hut. It's pronounced tahine? Oh god, of course it would be. That makes sense. Freezer burn? Is that what it's called? What did I call it? Frostburn? I called it frostburn. It's mana burn, actually. Freezer burn. Kingdom of Qatar would never pay a housekeeper. The Kingdom of Qatar wants to take an internet podcaster with no mainstream crossover. Take down internet podcaster with no mainstream crossover success. Cucumber soda doesn't sound that amazing, but it was really good. Oh, it tasted more like watermelon. I know what you mean. Yeah, cucumber and watermelon have like a... They have like a common note. I love Taijin. Yeah, so it's supposed to be tahine. But yeah, so like I'm saying, there's more to the story than I thought. I really thought, okay, I was hoping for the best. I know, look, I don't like Ethan, okay? But I can't help it. I hope for the best for a lot of people. You know? And the best thing for Ethan Klein to do would be to get over his hurt ego and to move on with his life. That would be amazing. Coconut Spindrift slaps hard. I feel like I've had Spindrift before. I can't believe I called it Taijin or whatever. Or no, I called it Taijin, didn't I? But yeah, what I'm saying is that, like, you know, I thought maybe he was done. I'm naive, aren't I? Like, this is the only thing that is mildly keeping his... stream alive is the Hasan stuff. And I just don't know how good that actually is for his channel. Because some of those views that he's getting are hate views, and those are views he's not going to hold on to. Why are these people with children crashing out? Like, go raise your kids. Yeah, right? Hygiene. It's a hygiene. Oh my God. Ethan could just admit that he's wrong and he lost. There's no shame in that. No, he thinks he's actually smarter. Hasan is really unintelligent. Ethan completely defeated Hasan's argument for, oh yeah, this gets into communism. Yeah, so basically Ethan, I don't know, we'll just have to get, I'm trying to remember exactly how he gets to talking about potentially Hasan's housekeeper. Now, chat, I'm gonna stay agnostic about the Hasan housekeeper thing. I don't know, maybe he has one. This comes up because Ethan's always asking Hasan, who cooks that chicken for you, Hasan? Do you have a live-in servant that's cooking chicken for you day and night so you can stay on stream, not have to worry about cooking chicken yourself? And you know, he said that he was over at Hasan's house. He met a woman that Hasan told him not to tell anyone about, and that this woman did not speak any English. Only spoke Spanish. Hasan supposedly communicates with her through a series of grunts and or Google translations, and that she is day and night bringing him chicken. I don't know if this is true. A lot of people are speculating that somehow Ethan met Hasan's mom and mistaked her for like, and the way that Ethan's talking about it too, it doesn't sound like a housekeeper. It kind of sounds like a personal cook. Do you think that Hasan, I mean, I guess look, like I said, I'll be agnostic about it. I don't know. That's Hasan's mom, says Joint Specialist. Yeah, a lot of people are saying so. I mean, he maintained, well, you'll see, he's pretty adamant. Ethan can't be wrong about anything. Did you remember when we covered the Denims thing? Denims proved Ethan wrong. He was putting words in the mouth of one of the women in the documentary that he put in his video, and Denims was like, she's not saying that. Ethan replied to it. He even kind of acknowledged that, yeah, indeed, that's not what this person was talking about. But there was never any moment of like, oh, I guess I like, he said something like, I listened to that's what the narrator said. But no, the woman that Ethan is talking about, like, Denims, why won't you respond to what she has to say? No comment, no comment. Which, that's a soundbite I need to get. I need that soundbite. Certainly sounds like Hasan's mom. He has cooked and brought... Oh, she has cooked and brought him food on stream many times. Yeah, I mean, it may very well be Hasan's mom. I don't know. But I kind of also... Like, I don't... Even if Ethan was right, I don't think he's really making the point that he thinks he's making. And he also makes a couple of assumptions out of nowhere about this woman and how she's being treated. Highly doubt Hasan would have a secret housekeeper. I mean, that's essentially what Ethan was claiming. He has a ton of people in his house. If any of them leak, then yeah. He has a ton of people he collaborates with. He has a ton of people that he brings over. Yeah, somebody would have said something. And especially, like, Ethan is claiming a secret housekeeper who he pays barely over minimum wage and grunts at to get her to bring him food. Unsurprised Hasan hires people to help out around the house because his whole family lives there. Also, like, so what? Well, no, if you're Ethan, right, you can do that. But that's okay because Ethan is pro-capitalism. But if you're pro-communism, then I don't know, you better be inviting her to like the workers' council. She better be like a, you know, fairly normal in a lot of Middle East cultures. My grandpa had a housekeeper and he wasn't a rich man. Ethan will be calling ICE soon enough. He is that petty. I mean, I guess that's one way he could kind of prove it. But he's basically daring Hasan. He's like, hey, if I'm lying, then Hasan should sue me. Certainly sounds like Hasan's mom. Yeah. If Ethan got Hasan's mom deported, there would be no place for that guy to hide. Wait, what was even animated? Oh, Hasan's mom bringing him food was animated? On the animated Hasan? What's up, Don't Cap? Why would Hasan be open to having an expensive house, an expensive car, but then hide having a designer dog and a housekeeper? This all exists inside the mind, inside the beautiful mind of one Ethan Klein, Ethan D. Klein. If he's paying her a living wage, not abusing and exploiting her, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to be agnostic about this. I literally don't know. I'm not going to get into the business of making claims about, you know, what is or is not going on at Hasan's house. Ethan said it was possible that she was an elite. He said that? Oh my god, I missed that, Hot Ham Radio. Hasan's mom has got it going on. Why did Ethan even go after Denims and call her a Hasan simp when it seems like Denims was criticizing him for siding with Destiny? Sounds like Ethan is racist against Swanas and also sexist. Very possible. Looks like capitalist dystopia. I don't have an issue. Look, in this capitalist dystopia, I don't have an issue if you have money and spend it for... Convince me it's much more important how you make it and how you use it. Yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing, is Davy... Ethan seems to be of the opinion that we live in a social democracy and you can do what you want, and you could, you know, if you believe in socialism, then you should conduct all of your affairs in like the format of a worker co-op. And to a large extent, Hasan kind of does. Like, from what I know about his business, from what I know about his editors, his producers, etc., you know, it's a partnership, not a hierarchical employer-employee type of... They animated his mom. Wow. You can't sue people unless they cause you damages. He is just farming Hasan at this point. He's trying to, yeah. I don't think Hasan is biting, and that's probably a good idea. It's probably good. Like, Hasan doesn't need to respond. At this point, like, Ethan is just lashing out. He's grasping for straws. Purely that Ethan doesn't want to come across as an eviler rich man, so he's claiming Hasan also has that. Yeah, basically, he's changing the subject. Yeah, exactly. If you're a communist, you must live, yeah, like a medieval monk. You must have no possessions of your own. Thing is, if Hasan, even if he had a housekeeper, he would treat them better than most employers. She would probably have insurance and be paid more than a fair wage. Well, yeah, and that's the whole other thing. That Ethan's not only claiming that, he's claiming that by looking at this woman, he was somehow able to ascertain that she wasn't paid very well. He's just making stuff up, it sounds like. Suing to get money sounds like a capitalist thing, too, so it's like a double bind. No doubt, no doubt. Lele says, Ethan's chat called him out on trying to deport. No! Oh my god! I didn't see this part, Lele. This is like the BS when capitalists say Marx made a religion. Ethan has a lot of uninformed stuff to say about socialism. He really does. And we're going to get into that. in just a second. Yo, Winnie Cat. Yo, Salmon. Thanks for subscribing. Good to have you with us today. So yeah, we're about to get into it right here.
But now there are freaking communist invading radicals.
I think most of you have noticed, if you're watching on YouTube, that there's a poll. We got a poll going on. I'm asking you about bonus content, as in what bonus content do you want today? Every day, I offer the opportunity for chat to keep me on a little bit longer than I normally would stay on to cover one or sometimes two, as in yesterday, subjects. And, you know, if we can get that bonus meter, which is, it starts at 0, so it's at 0 right now. If we can get that 0 all the way up to 100, we'll get some bonus content. What decides which bonus content will you get? Well, you do, silly, by voting, which you can do right now on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to come over to YouTube. I'm not trying to change your viewing habits or telling you to watch it somewhere else. No, I'm just saying if you want to vote, right? The poll is on YouTube, so you can come over, you can vote, you can like the stream, and you can go right back to Twitch if you want. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever suits you is you know, that works for me as well. But yeah, what the votes will determine what I watch as far as bonus content. The other thing that determines what I watch as far as bonus content is the donos. So yeah, like I said, we're at 0% right now. If we get to 100% on that meter, we get some bonus content. Right now, Legal Eagle is in the lead at 55%. 525-pound bear found under a man's house is in second place at 18%. More Ryan Beard, Destiny Nuke at 14%, and the Zizians down at 13%. Right, so that's by your votes. Now, that's not the end of the story, because as you can see right here, I'm keeping track of donos, all right? So when you donate, you need only to let me know which of these topics you're supporting, which of these topics you're voting for, which of these topics sparks joy in your heart, and I will put your money where your mouth is, which would be like in one of these places. I will add your donation to the topic of your choice. And basically, you see, it's like +0, +0, +0, +0. Well, when you donate, it's plus whatever you donate. That's whether you're doing a super chat, if you're doing a super sticker, if you're getting yourself a membership, if you're gifting memberships to others, if you're supporting me on Throne, which I should have a new, I'm thinking of putting a camera up there to get a slightly better image. I don't know. After watching Denims, I realized, you know, how different a stream looks with a actual camera versus a webcam. And since I'm going to be here for a little while, at least until I can save up some money to move out of this country, I thought I might as well put physical I had all physical items taken off of there because I was like, I don't want to have to move with something else or, you know, carry something else. But I think at this point, I don't know when I'm going to be able to leave the US. I don't know. The passport situation is actually really rough too. I have heard various things about what happens if you go to the passport. If you go get a passport as a trans person, and I need to get some clarity on that. Because of the Trump administration, basically the anti-trans policies of the Trump administration have made that even more complicated. Oh, thank you, Narwhal. Yeah, supporting me on Patreon also can affect the dono goals. Right? If you sign up for Patreon, you can let me know, and I'll put your money where your mouth is. It also works on Twitch if you're supporting me on Twitch, which I greatly appreciate, because guys like this have done everything that they can to make sure that political streamers on Twitch do not make any money. So the only money that I make on Twitch at all is from viewers like you. So thank you to everybody who supports me on Twitch with your subs, with your bits, with whatever. That counts as a donation too. And that will make the dono goal go forward from 0, where it's at right now, all the way to 100%. If we get to 100% by the end of the stream, I stay up a little bit late with you. I stay on a little bit longer with you, and we do some bonus content. And yeah, you can affect what bonus content you get by letting me know which of these topics appeals to you. Should I have put the what if alt hist video essay? I was kind of keeping that. Oh yeah, that's on there too. I gotta wait. Let me take a look. Goal ends in 1 hour and 10 minutes. So yeah, that's what is it, like 10 teal super chats? If we get 10 teal super chats before 1 hour, this is a separate bonus content. So there's a what if alt hist video essay that I will watch with you, but we got to get going soon. Getting a visa is really difficult if you don't have an in-demand job. How are you going to do it? I've been looking into it because I want to escape, but it seems impossible from what I know. Well, I mean, for what, like Canada? Is that what you're talking about, Miran? Always been sussed out by Legal Eagle's constitutional law videos. He practices a lot of the same things as me, and oh, so you don't trust his opinion necessarily. I really don't have a clue about a lot of the details of constitutional law. Hopefully he researches well. Every country pretty much, including Canada. I mean, yeah, Canada and Europe, I have noticed, are pretty hard to immigrate into. There are some countries that have like I might be eligible for like a digital nomad visa or something like that in some countries, but it is kind of dependent on, you know, how much money do you have in the bank? Like that, they'll look at stuff like that, right? Which makes it even harder. I mean, maybe I can save up the money to get a passport, get like a digital nomad passport, but yeah, it wouldn't, if I moved to a different country, it wouldn't be to jump into a different career path or industry, right? It would be I'd continue to make videos on YouTube. And with some countries, because the cost of living is lower, it would actually be easier for me to do it there than it would here in the United States. If I can get past the whole moving thing and the passport thing, and like Miran is talking about, the visa thing. Yeah, there's all kinds of hurdles. It's not as easy as I thought it would be when I first decided I wanted to get the fuck out of here. Netherlands has a little loophole where you can invest 5K US in a Dutch company. Brazil is really good for that. You just need proof that you make a certain amount. I feel like Brazil... Do you mean visa? Wait, what did I say? Did I say something else? Well, I mean, there's passport. You know, you got to get a passport to get out of your country and to get into another country. And then a visa allows you to stay in that country, you know, for different amounts of time, depending on the type of visa. Yeah, I don't know what I said, SM. 5K USD allows you to get a visa. Wow. I mean, the Netherlands, see, wait, don't they have a veiled Heert in the Netherlands? Salmon, no one wants Americans moving in. I mean, I could understand that if that were the truth. However, the hurdles that I've seen are not, I don't know, they're not like specific to Americans, my understanding. Argentina is extremely easy to immigrate to. That's what Bad Empanada told me. No, just kidding. Yeah, Netherlands, they got a Geert Wilders, right? And Argentina, they got a Javier Milei. I don't know about that. And Germany, they might have an AFD who knows? Like, there's a lot of countries that are looking scary. Not as scary as the US, but Brazil has the highest rate of crime rates for trans people. Not recommended. Digital nomad visa. What did I say, Brendan? Don't think Argentina is a good... Yeah, with Javier Milei running around there. Like, seriously, I feel so bad for Argentinians, especially ones that didn't vote for that guy. But yeah, I mean, even though, like, Mirren and I can both understand why people might not want Americans moving into their country, I haven't seen a lot of... I haven't seen laws that are, you know, I don't think I've seen like any country that's like, you know, tougher for Americans to move into than people from other countries. It may exist. Hearing a lot of legal rustling about a lot of Trump's actions. It can't be aimed at him, but everyone around him is free game. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, they are until he pardons them, I guess. Backup plan is Mexico. Mexico seems nice. Mexico's got a good government, like, relatively speaking. R.I.P. BE? Wait, is BE gonna get run down by the Milei government? Marriage visa is always a good option, true. NCC on 90-day fiance. Let's go. Let's go. I'm trying to think, Mirren, what kind of Dutch company I would invest 5K into. What if I just like a tulip company, maybe? It's not so easy to run away. I mean, that's true, Will. You're not wrong about that. Where do you plan to go? I mean, I've thought about Thailand because they have a soft power visa where you can go and you can learn Muay Thai. And so I've thought about that. There's countries in Central and South America that are fairly reasonable. See if they're taking my birthright citizenship away? God damn. With the Milei government literally had people try to dox BE. Yeah. I think I saw that video. Mexico would be sick as fuck, but I would feel guilty of moving there with my shit. Oh God. Yeah, that's the other thing is that, like, and for me, I don't know. I could learn Spanish. I know a decent amount of Spanish. I can read Spanish somewhat, but speaking Spanish, I'm not great at it. And yeah, they do have a problem, like at least in Mexico City, I know, had kind of become gentrified specifically by digital nomads. A Dutch East India Company has a strong record. Yes, indeed. Brother moved to Spain. I don't know how easy it was. You had to move around for the first few years. Yeah, that's, I guess, pretty common. Seen a lot of people asking about New Zealand and Australia. To avoid problems with visas. Yeah, people call that, what, like a visa run? Or like a passport run or something, where they go to a different country and they get their passport stamped so that just so they can come back into the country that they're trying to get into. Rolling Stone had an article about accepting European countries. Nice. I'll have to look that up, Joe. All right. Well, I don't like interesting conversation. Definitely something that I'm thinking about a lot. I don't want to hang us up too long because I know we got a lot of content to cover tonight. First and foremost, though, I got to thank my Patreons. I would be remiss if I did not thank my Patreons and let them know how much I appreciate them. Everybody on any tier of my Patreon, you get videos from me before they come out from other people. You get them first. You get them uncensored, and sometimes you get an extra scene or two. You get an extra, you get essentially the first release of the video before anybody else, right? So that's everybody on Patreon. At the $5 level and higher, you also get another perk, and that is a fancy shout out. So let me do that now. Shouts out to Oral Ellipsis. Shouts out to Temporal Insanity. Shouts out to Funky Monkey. Shouts out to Shaxbier. Shouts out to Nadia Yvette Chambers. Shouts out to Moe No Ape. Shouts out to My Goggles. Shouts out to Just Julie. Shouts out to Jules K. Shouts out to Infallible Foul. Shouts out to Hot Ham Radio. Shouts out to Good for Gabby. Shouts out to Buffy Geek. Shouts out to Animals. And a fancy shout out to 200X, to Rachel K, and to Crystal Saphira and Omega Star. Also, if you're a member, a sub, a Patreon, make sure to look for me. I will be in the Weasel Cord. I will be in the new Discord. There's a perk for the fancy weasels and above, where I hang out and talk to you in Discord VC. Right now, I'm just kind of doing that for everybody on Weasel Cord. And usually in the morning, if I get up early enough, I get my coffee and I watch Majority Report. So if you want to come in and do that, if you don't mind me occasionally talking over Sam as I sip my morning coffee, that is, I've been trying to do that more and more. Eventually, that's a perk for, the fancy weasels and above. But at the moment, since there's only 4 of you, I'm just doing that, in the lounge Discord on Weasel Cord. So look for that every time MR is on. We got to get going here, chat. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there. And where are we getting? We're going to try to get to Ethan Land. We're going to try to figure out what's going on with this guy and his housekeeper, and what the fuck it has to do with Hasan. Spoiler, nothing. But let's take a look at this one first.
It is February.
He's being sued by an ex-employee. It's weird the way that he says that. Like, my understanding is that, when did she quit? I got the feeling that she quit kind of recently. I could be right. I could be wrong. All right, topic introductions. Let's take a look at this.
A few stories here. One is that over the weekend, it's like this shit never ends, bro. I swear to God. Yeah, it was Sunday, I think, or Saturday. I don't remember. We got sued by our former housekeeper, and then it was posted all over, like in Snark and YouTube Drama and all these psychotic freak places. Now we're getting emails from like Daily Beast. Isn't that a tabloid?
Daily Beast? No, not a tabloid.
Oh. Daily Mail, is that a tabloid?
That's a tabloid.
Okay.
Is that who you got it from?
No, we got a mail from Daily Beast.
Okay.
Inquiring.
That's Jimmy Beast's publication, actually, yeah.
So, and it's like, well, I already put out a statement. Just fuck off. I already said it on Instagram, but I'm going to talk about it today.
I tied up an FBI agent.
I'm going to talk about this lawsuit today. You guys will enjoy it. And then also Dan Stabon, because I won my poker tournament. Dan is going to be going straight up. Oof. You're going to feel like so powerful.
I don't know.
You are going to feel
We're going to see that too.
so sexy, Dan.
I'm not super excited about it, but I'm not going to back down.
And your wife, Dan, what was her thoughts on the prospects of you going Dan Stabon?
Is the video quiet? Good question. Is the video quiet? Can I make it louder? Is this any better?
Allison's?
Yes.
She's excited.
Well, then what's the question?
I don't think it will look good, personally.
Oh, it's gonna.
I
look
don't
great.
think it's.
Let me get a look at your face. Let me see. You're gonna look fantastic.
Yeah. Can we have a good before mic out?
Yeah.
So we have a clean...
Here, just look. Yeah. Here's Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Swerdlove. What's like a good like Spanish last name? Lopes. That's your last name, right? I mean, not maybe that's a little
It's
weird.
Portuguese Brazilian, but
Oh.
yeah,
Not the same.
not the same.
You're asking what my Spanish last name should
Yeah, because you're Esteban and you're not Swerdlow.
Swerdlovo. I don't know.
Esteban.
Sordo.
Danstano.
Amor in there for the love?
Amor.
Yeah.
Dan
Wait, what about
Esteban Amore.
Juan? Dan Juan.
Don't. Yeah.
Dan
Don
Juan
Juan.
is good. That's really good. Dan Esteban, Dan Juan. So, Dan is going to be going into the bathroom and shaving it off live for us. And
Someone said Suarez. It's got the
That's good.
Sword love,
That's good.
Suarez.
Dan Esteban
That's actually-
Suarez.
That's pretty good. You can go with that.
we're going to have to hit the clubs together.
You and I?
Just with our looks, we're going to be all keyed up.
You're gonna
In
be
the words of Hasan Piker, this is
If
what
Destiny was my roommate, I get him laid all the time.
that's what I'm going to be doing for you, buddy.
I'm good.
You're gonna be the Beard Sisters.
So, when do you want to do that, Dan? I mean,
It's up to you. So we're set up to have a camera for a little pip in the corner.
you've
the
got
bathroom.
an electric shaver.
I brought the trimmer. I brought the beard bib.
Beard bib.
It's a fresh beard bib, never before used.
Wow.
That's
not
sweet.
Clog
I've never
up
used a beard
the
bib.
sink with all the beard hair.
Where'd you get a
know?
beard bib?
Huh?
Where'd you get a beard bib?
I think my mom gave it to me in my stocking for Christmas this past.
That is an insanely bad gift.
No, it's not. No, it's. You never clogged up.
Anyway,
I'll grab it one sec.
Yeah, it should be on the subreddit.
I mean, I don't know what that is, but I guess I appreciate it if it keeps the sink from getting clogged up with beard hair. That sounds pretty miserable.
So, my former housekeeper, Elizabeth, her name's in the complaint, filed a lawsuit for, I think, the charge is wrongful termination. Her allegation is that she needed time off to get her hernia treated, and then we just fired her, which is insane. It's insanely totally fabricated.
Insane.
I was talking to Ela. She went to, like, briefly before this hernia surgery she was due for, she literally went back home to, like, Venezuela. Took 3 weeks.
All right. Well, so now whenever this happens, you're going to see me fast forward through it. Not because I don't like the soft jazz tones. Because that I think that one they license it. I think that one will get me in trouble, right? On it'll get my monetization taken, so we're not gonna mess with that. But just so you know, what does that mean? If in case any of you are not familiar, that button, those two buttons that are sitting by Ethan, right? Those are real buttons. When he presses, I don't know which one of the buttons, it erases the last 45 seconds of time as if Ethan were some kind of JoJo villain. And he presses them when he says something that he thinks he's going to get in trouble for, or when the crew say, Ethan, you better button that.
Yeah, so I think it was 2 or 3 weeks. She
You probably want to restate.
Yeah. So, briefly before this hernia thing happened, she took 2 or 3 weeks off to go back home to Venezuela, I think, to see her family get dental work. We paid her for the entire time she was gone. We have never punished anybody for taking time off. We encourage people to take time off to do the things that they need to do. We pay people for their time off. It's so gross that this woman was a part of our family and would just turn around and do something like just straight up a lie about this hernia thing. It's so stupid. But and there's even more absurdness to it.
So you're accusing her of lying about her hernia. Is that what I'm getting, Ethan?
She filed a lawsuit. We have an arbitration clause, so she can't even sue us. Also, like California
You have an arbitration clause?
law, like apparently you can't sue individuals for claims brought against the company. So, like, as a matter of law,
Cymera, I feel like we better be on the lookout for tropes here.
majority of this is going to be dismissed outright. And we have everything, all the complaints with HR. Like, everything is super well documented.
You should explain the complaints.
Yeah, so basically, the main complaint, she's been doing this to a lot of people. And before, I was like, oh, she's like, she said kind of similar shit to me, but I don't care about it. I go, she's like my mom. She's just, you know, making these inappropriate comments. But she was making it to other people. For example, our nanny, she was calling fat and constantly asking her if she gained weight. And she would come to us and say, this is really upsetting me. It's really inappropriate. And of course, we completely agree. So we would sit her down with HR and give her like
with HR? Okay, here's what I don't understand. The way that Ethan is talking about this arrangement, it does not sound like, you know, he hired a person to come and work as his housekeeper and he hired a person to work as his nanny. HR? And I keep on wondering, like, for Teddy Fresh? For H3? Like, what business of yours is hiring? If this is HR, why is it HR? Like, what does he do? Why is his personal and under HR for Teddy Fresh? Look, I don't know. I mean, is it Teddy Fresh? Does he say that? I'm not even sure. I don't know what's going on here. I'm just confused.
Warnings being like, please just stop commenting on people's like private lives, their weight, whatever. Well, just please stop. And she kept doing it.
Wait, she's a Teddy Fresh employee, as in she does more than just, you know, clean his house? Is she doing something for Teddy Fresh in addition to that, or?
I mean,
she was on the Teddy Fresh payroll.
When you were you met her, right?
Yeah, I met her a couple of times, and much like you, though, is very like typical grandma jokes about.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
So she very nicely of you guys. You guys offered to stock the fridge.
Wait, Ethan accused Hasan of SA
with goods and like sodies and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And
I missed that. Was that today?
She asked me what I wanted, and when I was asked, she commented, I was like, are you sure you want that many sodas or snacks? So obviously, personally, it doesn't bother me, but to be exposed to that every day, that's not fun. You know?
Yeah, she's always constantly judging people's health, and it's kind of funny to me because she's a chunky little lady.
Yeah, that's what caught me so off guard.
She's built like Humpty Dumpty, and I only say that because, like, just to tell you.
So you got it, like, right. She attacked my nanny and said that my nanny was overweight, so I get to fat shame her. He's excited. That's what I mean. He's excited. Every time somebody says something out of pocket, he's like, "Oh, cool! I get to be racist against you now. I get to be misogynist against you now."
There is an irony there. Yeah, yeah.
And she had a lot of energy. Don't get me wrong.
I think she was saying like kind of mean grandma energy is the right description. Like I think.
But like
people know that archetype,
and that's why we were willing to be like, listen. I always liked her, okay, personally, and that's why I wanted to be like, listen, just stop. Especially the thing with our housekeeper. Please, just be professional with her, okay? And she kept doing it, and she kept doing shit like this, where our housekeeper, or our nanny, let's say, made food or had lunch with the kids, and then she'd put their dishes in the sink. And then our Elizabeth, the one who's suing me, she would explicitly not wash the dishes because she was like, oh, that's your job. Like our kids' dishes. And our nanny has her hands full. Like she is busy as fuck. And it was like these little pathetic snide things that she was constantly doing. I literally had no choice. I had zero choice but to fire her. In fact, I mean, if I didn't, it would have been an issue. It would have been another issue because, like, at a certain point, it's like, you know, she's creating a hostile work environment.
Right. Yeah.
And so you know, so we fired her. We did it through HR, everything up and up. We gave her a very generous severance package because I cared about her and I didn't want to leave her high and dry. And yeah, so she ended up, she's been threatening us, I guess, for a while now. She contacted some employment attorneys, and they've been like, we need, they were trying to shake us down for a lot of money. I don't remember the exact amount, but it was like in the six figures.
Wow. Jeez.
And so I was like, fuck that, you know what I mean? And you guys know me, like, one, we're completely in the right and we have everything documented. So I have nothing to fear by this going to, going to trial or whatever in front of a judge. And the second thing is, you guys know about me, is that I never fucking let people. I would rather pay the attorneys double than what she's asking for, if that's what it takes. Like, I will never, ever, ever concede to this types of shit. I don't care, and I'm just not an option. Like, my attorney was like, "Do you think we should just settle? Like, that'd be." I said, "No, there's no quarter left for her. She gets nothing. Good day, sir. Good day, ma'am." In the words of Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
You know. So it's just a totally bogus, pathetic lawsuit. And it's gonna be super easy to.
I mean, if you have it all logged and documented,
it's all logged.
The interventions and like having to talk to her about it multiple times or whatever, it sounds like you're in good shape.
It's something about this I'm just not buying.
It's ridiculous. It's all accounted for. So, and then the weird thing is that
like, he's acting like this lawyer is out here telling everyone and anyone, whether or not they have a real claim or not, to just go ahead and sue, because, you know, if they're wealthy, they'll back down. And it's just like, I don't know, you know, especially if the lawyer is taking this case with very little payment up front, they're going to be a little bit more careful than that, I think.
So she filed this lawsuit. My attorneys hadn't even seen it.
Has he always coughed this much? He's been coughing, I don't know, when did the coughing start? Anybody got a date on that, when the coughing started?
Yeah. Yet somehow, within 24 hours of her filing this obscure lawsuit, it's on Snark and YouTube Drama. Even my attorney was like, how did they get that?
Yeah,
like, were they
how?
just sitting there refreshing?
_by super chatted $5. This is giving, rehearsed, and he has certain points to hit to make sure she looks like a garbage human.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got some, what do you call it, like, some bullet points that he's keeping in mind. If they're not on the, you know, some kind of a wait, what is it called? The thing that tells you what to say? Teleprompter, yes. Thank you, Narwhal by Nature, for the super chat.
Attorney's like, she knows, and the attorneys know that this lawsuit is going to get absolutely eviscerated by a judge because it's just total nonsense. It needs to go to arbitration, and there's all these other illegal things like charging us individually when she's charging like our company that employed her. Mm-hmm. And so it's clearly been made public as a tactic to put pressure on us. Like, she's actually going that route. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was sent from someone on her side to Snark or YouTube Drama or so on. I'd like to know how they acquired.
No, it was Hasan himself for sure.
It.
It was Hasan. It was definitely Hasan intervened personally.
I suppose it's possible. I'll offer an alternative, which is that somebody on that subreddit is maybe...
He's confirming he's using arbitration in that case. Yeah, he said that he signed a contract where they have to use arbitration.
Like, dedicated enough hater that they've
refreshing
set up
the docket?
No, but like set up alerts or something. Like if your name
I don't
shows
think that's
up in
a thing for the docket.
I think it is a thing.
Well, my attorneys were like, my attorneys hadn't even seen it. They didn't
Right?
even
No,
fucking
I
see
mean it's
that.
wild, but I mean you have some
according to my
dedicated haters.
attorney,
What can I say?
She thinks it's orchestrated.
I mean, what you're saying.
Orchestrated?
If the
What do you
topic is
mean?
To put public pressure on you.
What is he?
Which I guess makes sense.
That's absolutely. First of all, that's
What is bro implying?
If that was their plan, because
well, she only knows nice me.
Yeah, it's
right.
orchestrated by Hamas.
Psycho me.
Yeah, I don't know.
But her
Or-
son is a fan, and he's worked with us. It's a.
Orchestrated by Hamas, says Valerie, the lovely Italian.
He's really a nice guy.
Elizabeth was always a sweetheart to me.
Me too. Yeah.
But I'd heard about this issue in the past, so yeah.
There was another one. What was the anecdote?
Wait, what does he mean?
Me about it.
When he says I've heard about this in the past, this like, what does Dan mean by that? Like what? Like that this is a scam? That there's like a fake hernia scam or something? Like what is he saying?
Fan, and he's worked with us. It's a shame. He's really a nice guy.
Elizabeth was always a sweetheart to me.
Me too. Yeah.
But I'd heard about this issue in the past, so yeah.
There was another one. What was the anecdote? Somebody else told me about it. What was it? It was something about.
What was that quote again?
She was doing this to everyone. It's really nuts.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cymera, Ethan's lawyers told him that he couldn't talk about the case, but they never said anything about singing about the case.
Update. There was another anecdote I heard.
I will say the weight comments are very common in Latino families.
Listen,
I have no idea why. If you're too skinny, they make a comment. If you're too big, they make a comment. And it's always, especially the big comments, always come from like a big person. It's always weird.
Yeah.
Well,
Middle Eastern
and that's
people
why
too.
I was like, that's why I was trying to give her some like grace. I was like, listen, just stop doing that, please.
Right, but
especially with our nanny who's expressed concern. You could say whatever you want to me. I don't care, right? But please, you have to stop doing this. And she just wouldn't. She couldn't help herself for some reason. She had to call her nanny fat. She could not control herself.
I have a family member who's had weight issues, being too skinny, and some other family members said, just don't talk about it. Don't bring it up. Don't ever bring it up. And sure enough,
It's been a while since I saw my face. I haven't been doing so great, so I took a little break. So a lot of people are saying some things about me that are quite true. Doesn't matter if it's true, though. Just as long as it's entertaining to you. Right? You guys having fun? All aboard the toxic gossip train. Chatting down the tracks of misinformation. The toxic gossip train. You got a one-way ticket to the manipulation station.
He would say manipulation too. Like that's a very Ethan thing to do.
oh, you look so skinny. Have you lost weight? And it's like a tick. They can't help it.
It reminds me of somebody else I know. No wonder you had empathy for her.
What I do? Me?
Sometimes you can't help yourself.
About weight?
No, just in general about not being able to not say things.
I mean, listen, if I was working at a job that I liked and wanted to stay at.
Yeah, no, it was very
like,
reasonable.
Can you please stop calling someone fat? I'd be like, that's not a problem.
Right.
Yeah, surprisingly good voice from AI Ethan.
I can manage that.
Probably better than real Ethan.
Yeah.
She couldn't not is hilarious. That's crazy.
For me personally, it depends on who the fatty is.
Right. What if they're a mean fatty?
Exactly.
Oh yeah. So there's another another person that worked in proximity to her that she told, who asked for
manipulation station
for pregnancy, which
a toxic gossip train.
And support them. That's, you know what I mean. We respect and understand people have lives outside work. So she has 4 kids, and Elizabeth told her to stop having kids when it's too much. So she asked for time off because she's pregnant, and Elizabeth was like, "You need to stop having kids. It's too much." So I mean, listen, it's like when being a aggressive grandma goes wrong. It's just
See, look, the way that he's saying that, I can't tell if he's just like trying to exploit, something that she was joking about, or if he's serious. Came for the fandom into the fandom because of the toxic gossip train. Now it's full circle. God damn, yeah.
just but it's like the way she's coming at us is crazy. She did this when Hila gave birth to Sonny. She told our nanny, she asked if she's pregnant.
Jeez.
Oh, she's obviously not pregnant, by the way. So she asked her if she's pregnant. Can you imagine that? And then she also said, we have it written down, so Hila's telling me. She's saying, you're young, you should have lost weight. Or you're young, you should lose weight.
What the hell?
And so it's like comically absurd. And you have to at times fire people. You have to do it. It's just you have to.
Well, like you said, if you didn't, you would have a problem on the other end. You'd be getting sued by your nanny for allowing a hostile work environment.
And I'll be honest, we love our nanny. She's
been with you guys forever now.
Since Teddy was born, and she's like so amazing. I'm very protective of her. She's been through other things, and I'm always wanting the best for her and to, make sure. So like for me, we take that very seriously when it's targeted towards her. And, what can you say? It's just fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, you can sue anyone for anything.
It sounds like you just use HR to stockpile ammunition against anyone in case something like this happens. I don't know.
Right. So obviously, it's great fodder for all the people that hate me to be like, oh, Ethan fired his housekeeper for asking for time off. It's like, no, it's so fucking stupid. It's also
gossip train.
When you employ a lot of people, that this kind of stuff just happens from time to time. It's just unfortunately part of the game. There's a lot of companies that will just settle. They'll just be like, it'll cost us less to pay you than pay the attorneys. So we'll settle and just move on.
I'm sure that's whatever lawyer jumped on this was assuming would happen, because I think in 99 out of 100 cases that probably is what happens. But they found that one with you, boy.
I said she gets nothing. She gets nothing. I will spend way more money than she's asking for to make sure she gets nothing. Because that's how it is. Nobody fucking.
You're the pettiest man alive. It's a bad idea.
It's just fuck that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Bet you have nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hila wants to say for the record, and again, that our nanny is not fat. By the way, she is a lovely, beautiful girl.
I guess you should. We all know her, so we get the absurdity on its face.
Yeah, Kiana, exactly.
This woman, I mean, nobody deserves that, but especially in this case, it's just like, what? Like, she's just being so mean for no reason.
So mean.
Dude, older people, they just don't know boundaries. Like, I sent a photo of my new apartment to my grandma.
Yeah, I mean, this does seem kind of ill-advised, right? Like, they come out, talk about the case, and then immediately are like, yeah, this housekeeper, you know what? She's old. And she's pretty heavy herself. Like, I don't know. Just immediately, this seems like not the legal advice that you would get, even from Colleen Ballinger's attorneys, who famously are permissive as long as you're willing to sing your statement rather than say it. I don't know. Doesn't seem like a wise thing to do.
It's like, it looks a bit messy. I was like, okay, I just moved in.
Oh yeah, I was trying to think what
a different time. I
was just trying to think what she looks like, and I mean this with peace and love, right?
Here we go.
So you guys understand.
With peace and love.
Like Mrs. Potato Head.
Peace and love. This is
Elizabeth. You know what I mean?
Wait, what? Okay, was her name released with the lawsuit? Is there a reason that he's mentioning? Like, is that her name that he's mentioning? Speaking of Denham's argument, what didn't he say he was trying to protect Jimmy Lee? Oh, when did he say that? He's doing a Trump drag it out while acting tough. before quietly settling. Yeah, I don't doubt it, Biva. I don't doubt it.
Like, that's pretty good.
Sure.
And she's energetic. Like, she zips around and, you know what I mean? She gets shit done.
Again, until this whole saga, you know, I had a very good impression of her. She was always very sweet. She was
George,
like the frenemies days. So it was basically like it was like Elizabeth, Ethan, Trisha, and me in the basement.
Yeah,
It's the crew.
The crew, yeah.
You know, and here, let me see I put out an Instagram statement immediately because I was like, all right, well, let me just at least explain what the fuck this.
Yeah.
what's going on?
Mexican, thank you to Adelie. Thank you so much for that dono. In Mexican culture, your family members find your insecurities and make it your nickname.
Yeah, that's true.
And pause it that way, huh?
Ones are gordo, which means fat,
Sure,
and
yeah.
flaco, which means skinny. There's some other ones, but I feel like I can't say them just because maybe it could be translated wrong or offensive. I'm not sure what's offensive in
Do
Spanish.
they for real call people gordo?
Yes, that's an extremely
100%.
common. It's more common with boys. They don't really call girls that.
That's fucked up. Hey, what's up, what's up, gordo? What's up, fatso? That's crazy.
I knew somebody who that was his nickname. Yeah.
The more
Gordita?
I work with Nate, the more I'm seeing the similarities between like Mexican culture and Arab culture. Arabs, they just say butter, which means cow.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Just
like
calling your kid cow.
Ouch. It's for real.
Rod him, cow pork.
Now, my response, by the way, was I'm pretty sure people were being downvoted and banned from YouTube Drama and Snark for posting my response.
Very good.
Great. This is the.
What do you expect? You know.
The thing is, like, I just don't care anymore. Like, people, they expect me to feel.
You honestly shouldn't.
Yeah, no, several wolves. That is so Ethan. That is so Ethan right there.
Like,
these people, Elizabeth and their lawyers thought I would feel bad and I'd be worried. These people are saying that I kill babies and that I do genocide. Like, this is a fucking walk in the park.
Right.
Oh, you fired me for asking for time off? Big fucking whoop.
Let's put it in perspective.
Apparently, I killed like
not even the worst thing I've
children.
been accused of this week.
It's just annoying, though. I'll admit, when I saw this, I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then it was posted by this guy, Jake Chinatown, who
was just
famously a couple days before retweeted somebody.
So wait, chat. This is I'm trying to think. Somebody explained this to me. The reference in the name Jake Chinatown is Jack Nicholson's character from a Roman Polanski movie. Is that basically it?
Saying they wanted to smash my children into an oak tree.
I don't know nearly enough about cinema. Like, right? I don't know nearly enough about movies.
Repeatedly by their ankles. Mm-hmm. He retweeted that. And now he's pretending to care about a lawsuit.
Yeah.
That's
Chinatown, Jake.
Hey, that's exactly. Why is he obsessed with Chinatown? Isn't it a story about like incest and rape and shit? Like a little weird, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, wait, is this right? I don't even know.
Chinatown made in like fucking the.
What's your argument? Well, at first I was wondering if you were confusing the story about the director.
No, that's what
because
it's about.
he also. That's Roman Polanski.
The director's got.
But that's the bit. That's the end. They go, "It's my brother, my dad."
You love spoiling.
It's fucking Chinatown, bro. This movie's like 100.
Yeah. The director's got a little bit of baggage. If you haven't Googled Roman Polanski.
Even I've seen it.
It's had a resurgence.
And by the way, you're the one that provoked me to be more specific.
It's a little bit true.
Yeah, Dan, what do you have to say to that?
My bad.
Same as last time. It was your fault.
Yeah. Well, still, I mean, watch Chinatown or don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to like that movie
It's a
anymore?
great movie.
I don't even know.
Come on, Dan. It's Chinatown.
It's very old.
Yeah.
It's cool to see like young Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
But I prefer modern day Jack Nicholson.
Spilling chili at the Laker game.
Pulling up the basketball photo, right?
I love this is the real motherfucker. This is a man who's out there living his goddamn life. Or here, well, hold on. I want to see the ones.
The one where he's like got like ketchup all over himself.
Yeah, he's always eating.
Should be stationed under a bridge.
Elizabeth got something. He was like and here I just.
No.
He is the man.
20 years ago.
They eat pancakes
at 4 in the morning. I don't.
Must be when he 10 a.m. on if I'm
because he gets mad at the staff, so he'll pee on the floor on purpose.
Wow.
It's fucked up.
Oh,
dude.
no.
Is he like
show him something. Show him his boss. It's alpha.
He'll like,
it's like a dog clear.
But going out on a high.
I'm telling.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling one of you motherfuckers is stepping up when me and your mom get old. Hell no, fucker.
Unless you. True.
My dad says the same thing. He's
Yeah.
like, you better be wiping my ass.
That's right.
Yeah.
I clean shit all day long. That's like what I do all day. Between the dogs and the boys, I'm just picking and cleaning up shit all fucking day. I live and breathe shit.
Okay.
Never been happier, by the way.
Wow. The game.
¿Qué tal, gordo? What does that mean? What's Kate? What's up, gordo? ¿Qué tal, gordo? Come on.
Like, what's up? How are you?
That's amazing. God bless him, though. God bless him. He's still got swag, though, with like the tinted glasses. He's showing up with like the orange.
Real is total bulk. He might have.
Oh,
please,
nice.
God.
Yeah. His car stuff.
Kind of insane.
What kind of shoddy operation are they doing over there?
They suck.
Wow.
DHL offers weekend deliveries.
I apologize.
Was fired family, and we treated her like it. I tried to.
Okay, so here we go. We're back to the story. I'm sorry. I just didn't want to get caught up in all the goofs and gaffs of the H3 podcast.
Salvage the relationship, but her conduct
was the skipping funny?
Inexcusable. It's all documented with HR, which hopefully makes this an easy matter to settle. It feels extremely violating to know that someone that close to our family can turn around and do something like this. The part about her asking for time off for hernia surgery is then being fired is 100% fabricated. Anyone that knows us or works for us knows that it is not something we would ever do. I care deeply for all of our employees and do everything in our power to do right by them. She tried to shake us down for a huge amount of money, which I immediately declined, knowing our innocence and refusing to ever concede to people like her.
He declined. Get it? Ethan immediately. Okay, no.
So,
damn.
I'll tell you what, Jake. I'd like to grab this lawsuit by the ankles and slam it into an oak tree.
What? Wait. I'm sorry. Wait. No. Was Jake Chinatown the one that said that about his kids? Because if so, I would think that Jake Chinatown's, Twitter account would not be up currently. Or was that maybe somebody else? In which case, it's a weird thing for you to say that to a random account calling you out on Twitter.
An inanimate object.
You laughed. Nice.
Take a fucking someone that wants to murder your children violently and turn that into a gaffe. Not many could do that.
Not many. Not many.
But is that? I'm sorry. Is that person Jake Chinatown, or is that somebody completely different?
The metal.
Anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Anywho.
Oh,
guys
that's
tomorrow.
Hakua.
I'm gonna go to bed.
She hasn't woke up. She's still sleeping.
No, she came back.
Anywho.
She came back.
With FaZe Bank.
Anywho,
FaZe Banks.
But
I'm gonna go to bed.
Did it actually come out?
Yeah,
well, they
she
posted
deleted
it and then they deleted it.
After she cried on it, apologizing, and she said that all of the proceeds from the video would go to help
Why
the
did she erase
animals
it?
in the wildfires.
Wait,
What? What?
Yeah, she
so there's no
deleted it.
proceeds.
She cried. Wait, after or before?
She rug pulled those poor animals.
She cried on the podcast episode that they posted and then deleted.
So has she posted anything since they posted or deleted?
Hakua.
Why would she do that?
Anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
That's good. By the way. Set of finite. No lies being said here. You know what I mean? There's no excuse. What do you mean you're closed on the weekend? The world is. We are.
The world down.
You would be here.
Go to bed.
Yeah.
That's very good.
We love it, folks, don't we?
It's very good.
I have nothing left to lose. I'll tell you what. Just wait. Okay. And Sam. What do they call it? Get into ecom.
Oh my God. Okay. We're done. That is this segment from, I believe, Monday's H3 show. And like I said, I didn't think that it was that interesting. I wasn't going to cover it. But It got brought up again. It got brought up again on today's show. So we're going to have to take a look at that. But first, I want to take a look and see how the poll is doing. Right now, it looks like Legal Eagle talking about Elon Musk and the legality or lack thereof of Elon's moves. It's at 58%. More Ryan Beard, Destiny Nuke is at 16%. 525-pound bear found under a man's house at 15%. And Zizians, yes, that is indeed the vegan Sith cult that you've been hearing all about. The very magical vegan and very real vegan Sith cult that exists in Berkeley somewhere. And that's at 12%. Right? If we get to 100% on the dono goal tonight, we'll get some bonus content. I'll stay up a little bit later with you. I'll stay up past this next segment, which would otherwise, or will otherwise be the last segment tonight. But yeah, there's a chance to get more content if we get that 5% to 95% somehow. Yeah, and then we'll actually be able to make one of these options a reality. The other way that you can affect the poll, besides just voting on it, which you can still, 137 of you have so far voted on it. You can still vote on it. Just like the stream while you do it, because it's like those are two, good things that go well together. The other way to affect it is when you donate, whether it's through a super chat, a super sticker, if you're gifting memberships, if you're giving yourself a membership, you're supporting me on Patreon or on Throne, or if you're supporting me on Twitch, remember all those count as donations, and that enables you to say in chat which of these topics you want and have me add your, put your money where your mouth is, adding your donation as a percentage to the topic of your choice, thus making it more likely for that to be chosen tonight. Anyway, chat, let us move on to the second Ethan podcast, which has just hit the World Trade Center. Now, this one, very unassuming. Look at this. Does this, you know what this looked like to me? This looked like maybe Ethan moving on. Reading insane Redditor confessions. Okay, that's a normal H3 thing to do. Let's click it and find out how normal this is. North Star Radio has a great video about how Ethan's nuke backfired. Should we put that in, Aaron Patton, as like a dark horse? Would people be interested in seeing that? Hot Ham Radio with the gifted membership, JFC Fanfic. You just got weaseled. Hot Ham Radio pulling in for Zizians and getting us up to 8% on that dono dial. Zizians. Yeah, the Zizians are, they're not boring. I'll give them that. Yeah, a little bit scary actually, but yeah, look at this. Reading insane Redditor confessions. Okay, that sounds like a normal thing. Is Ethan getting back to just normal? This is his content. This is what he does. Is he getting back to it?
Friends, and welcome to the H3 show.
Sort of sounds like it. Starting off okay. Let's see what we got down here. We got something new. Dan calls Ethan out. Teddy Fresh shout out. XQC relax to Olivia. Normal so far. Wendy Williams. Situation gets weirder. Okay, that's disconcerting, but new alpha male financial advice. I don't know what that is. Alex Jones street reporting. Didn't he used to do that? Big Nick. Oh, they're talking about Big. This is H3 content. This seems like H3. The Hasan cleaner situation. The Hasan cleaner situation. Oh no! How long? It looks like and then Hasan merch about Hasan's socialism takes. About Ethan's 100K bet, Hasan orbiters and general reactions, more on Hasan's merch, and then back to Am I the Asshole? And yes, Ethan, if you're wanting to know, the answer is yes, you are. You are the asshole. All right, let's see what the Hasan cleaner situation is all about.
6 different genres.
So I dropped a bomb on Instagram stories yesterday that I wasn't sure if how much people were going to care about it, but I put it up anyway. It's about Hasan.
Of course.
This is what I say about Hasan.
I gotta say, it's feeling more and more like an ex-boyfriend kind of situation here. She's no longer incapacitated. Oh, Wendy Williams is no longer incapacitated. Wendy had temporary dementia brought on by alcohol abuse. It seems not early onset dementia. Okay, she might be free. Nice, free Wendy Williams. Yes.
SS on Pike KKK.
That's funny. That's really funny stuff. If you're a hater, if you gotta really hate the fuck out of Hasan for that to be some funny stuff. I don't know.
Since our friendship was a farce, listening to him talk about it.
Look, I was joking about the boyfriends thing, but he does sound hurt. He does sound hurt. Since our relationship was a farce from the get-go, since our friendship was...
I have zero
Our friendship meant nothing to you, Hasan.
problem discussing these things. And I mean, it is really hypocritical in my opinion. I even sent out a challenge, but here, I'll read this.
How the fuck did he seriously just launch into this? How does he jump into this?
2017.
It does.
Like super old. It's not
He looks
old as fuck.
He's a teddy bear guy. Look at him.
Give him the thumbs up.
It's funny. They have a lot of thumbnails from recent YouTube videos. They have this picture.
So a 2017 picture of P. Diddy.
Oh, he's a sweetheart, though. At the end of the day, he's very nice.
Nobody.
All right. Before we get to the tales,
the tales of what?
The tales from Reddit, which don't play it because we're not talking about it yet.
Before we get to Tales from Reddit. So he hasn't even gotten to the main, like, right, we're an hour into the show. He hasn't got to the main topic. Now, that's okay if that's what's coming next, but what is coming next?
I was waiting for it too, frankly.
You told me not to.
Well, okay. That hasn't stopped you in the past.
I thought we were doing shtick.
Another tale from Reddit.
See, it's not funny now because people know the magic's gone.
The magic's gone.
So now really stop playing it, okay, Zach? No more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tales from the Reddit.
I said no more, gosh damn it.
I'm noticing the bumper is different every time. There's a lot of different little musical cues going on.
Yeah, I've heard like
I made
15
like
different ones.
I made like 6 different genres.
So I dropped a bomb on Instagram stories yesterday that I wasn't sure if how much people were going to care about it, but I put it up anyway. It's about Hasan.
I'm sorry, but if you're going to act like Keemstar, you kind of have to live like Keemstar. And I don't think even Keemstar does, right? Like if you're gonna, does Keemstar even do this shit? Like, does anybody, like, Chad, do you know anybody else who's like, all right, I dropped a bomb the other day on Twitter. My enemies, they thought that they had me, but I dropped a bomb. I am the OG. I smoked them. Does anybody fucking talk like that? Like, because if you're going to be that kind of, if you're going to talk like that kind of person, you're going to have to like back that up with something. And Ethan, you are not the man in this field.
This is what I say about Hasan.
SS on Pike KKK.
That's funny. Since our friendship was a farce, listening
it was a farce
to him talk about it, I have zero problem discussing these things. And I mean, it is really hypocritical in my opinion.
I have zero problems talking about these things. Ethan, nobody's ever accused you of being overly inhibited.
I even sent out a challenge, but here, I'll read this. I said,
wait, what's the challenge? I didn't catch the challenge part.
I put out a question before, who's making his chicken? People have been wondering what makes his...
Oh, that's the challenge?
His fans and supporters say it's his mom, which is...
This is unhinged. This is unhinged. You know, hey, Hasan Piker, who's making his chicken? You ever think of that? Who's making his chicken? That is such a weird. No, you don't start a conversation like that. Hasan Piker, who's cooking his chicken? Ethan, you are the weirdest person. I was talking about recently who I thought the weirdest person in the space was. And I was kind of thinking maybe Sunday. Sunday says some weird shit. Sunday's pretty weird. I mean, like, right? You know, doesn't get much weirder than Sunday, but what the fuck is this? Who's cooking his chicken? I want to know. I got a challenge. Hasan Piker. Who's cooking your chicken? This is just not a normal thing. This is not a normal way to proceed.
They really think his mom is just slaving away all day. A grown-ass woman with a job who apparently just got...
You think it's his mom?
HD, like she's like a real-ass person with...
A real-ass person. Real-ass people don't cook chicken, apparently. Real-ass people don't cook chicken? Are you serious? Is that what he's trying to tell us? Anybody that's got a lot going on in your life, you got somebody cooking that chicken for you. You're not cooking the chicken yourself. Cooking chicken? Fuck that. I'm hiring somebody. What is he talking about? What kind of world does he live in?
Narwhal_by super chatted $10. I suspect that Redditor doesn't know what it's like to have a mom cook for you, lol. Is Ethan self-reporting right now?
It could be. It could be. I can neither confirm nor deny Narwhal, but thank you for the super chat. Why is this a contested fact? What? How do you even prove you don't have a housekeeper? You can't. That's the beautiful thing about it. Does it matter who cooks the chicken? Ethan very much cares who's cooking that chicken. Who's cooking that chicken?
Izzy Sanchi, super chatted $5. Why is Ether Klein bringing Hassan's mom into his one-sided beef? Jesus, dude, he has to stop.
Well, he doesn't think it's Hassan's mom. He's going to argue that there's no way it's Hassan's mom cooking the chicken. It can't be. Hassan is hiding housekeepers in his basement. Yeah, they stay down there. It's like the Yomni Park. Let me see if I can find the Yomni Park.
Life. She's just at home cooking chicken for her son all day. It's a cult. The cope that his audience...
Wait, wasn't this how he talked about Hasidic women? When he was talking about when he was complaining about Hasids, he said something about, and you know that she's slaving away over that stove all day. Like when he was calling them fat. Yeah, God. Oh my God. It's Kaya cooking? Kaya's doing the cooking. Has already said Kaya cooks the chicken? It's already been answered. Who cooks the chicken? Kaya cooks the chicken. Also, Izzy Sanchez, thank you for... Wait, why is Ethan Klein bringing Hasan? Yeah. The one-sided beef, but how many-sided chicken? That's what I gotta know. Either way, Izzy Sanchez, thank you for the super chat. If you watched his stream, you see his mom and dad giving him food a lot. He DoorDashes. Yeah, that actually kind of makes more sense than... Well, I mean, for the chicken, could you DoorDash? Okay, so if you don't know, Hasan weightlifters, a lot of them will eat like an absurd amount of chicken. They'll set like a protein grams per day goal. They'll eat enough chicken to get that. And it's not fancy, right? It's not like cooked in any sort of sauce. It's very plain chicken, right? It's like literally just chicken. And so I'm guessing that's what he's doing. I'm just wondering, is this the kind of thing that you could get DoorDash to you? Would there be a restaurant or something on DoorDash where it was like, chickens for lifters, chickens for, bros? I don't know. Like, I'm jealous if it was rotisserie. I don't think it's rotisserie chicken. I think it's very, very plain because they don't want any extra fat on it. They don't want any extra, sugar or anything on it. They just want it plain as fuck. It's a weird obsession. He definitely DoorDash. Yeah, I've definitely seen him DoorDash. Ethan is obsessed. You're not wrong.
Those two. So they're.
Oh, in West Hollywood. Yeah, you're probably right. Venice Beach obviously has weightlifters. Boiled chicken. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, yeah. If somebody's like, yeah, chicken and rice make sense if somebody's trying to put on muscle.
They're calling me a liar, which is good because it means that if it's true, which it is, it might affect their opinion of him. Anyway, so I said, I met her. She's a lovely Hispanic lady. She doesn't speak English. She cleans and cooks, works full time, I believe. Hasan grunts and uses Google to talk to her.
Okay, can I ask what that?
He grunts at her. He's like, chicken. I don't know. No, that's not even grunting. Like he's in Canada, yes. Power Kitchen, healthy, big portions. Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is it is actually a pretty common thing amongst lifters. And so socialism is when no chicken. That's right. Just chicken for bros. Just chicken for bros sounds like an optional restaurant. Boy, no, I need to work on my branding. Yeah, I think I could do better than chicken for bros. Chickens for bros. Are you a bro? Do you need some chicken? Call Chicken for Bros. We make chicken for bros like you every single day.
Means?
Well, she doesn't speak English and he doesn't speak Spanish.
Right. No, I get that part. What is it? Uses Google to talk.
You know how you would motion. I'm being a little facetious, but he's using how you would motion to somebody.
Yeah, I'm specifically asking about the Google part. Didn't follow what you meant.
Oh, like you Google Translate it and then you
okay.
It talks.
Got it.
Like, hey, last time the chicken was overcooked, can you please get your shit together?
It sounds like how Ethan would communicate to somebody cooking his chicken.
I thought you were saying like he's like like chicken. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but with more words. That is what's happening. So, yeah, he grunts and uses Google to talk to her.
Rob, I fucking love rice cakes.
Okay. She seems to not be on his utopian socialist pay plan, where everyone is entitled to the means of their production. She frees up a ton of time for Hasan to stream, works in his home, very clearly part of his production. She should be entitled to a % of his profits by his own logic. But
he is a troll. Ethan Klein is a fucking troll.
His own statements that he said on Leftovers. Judging for what I saw, she's probably making slightly above minimum wage. It just shows the obvious hypocrisy and total insincerity of Hasan's socialism.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot to say happy birthday to Moe No Ape.
He also tells everyone that visits to never mention her for, quote, obvious reasons. Literally, what he told me. He says don't mention it for obvious reasons. Because he knows it makes him look like a charlatan. I don't care about sharing anything confidential because it's pretty much clear.
He's mad.
Pretty clearly expressed our friendship was a farce. So my question is this to all of his fans who are like, the coping is unbelievable. They go, oh, Ethan mistook this housekeeper who doesn't speak English is for his mom.
Yeah, this is turning into bitch eating chicken. You know, like it's like the bitch eating crackers, but instead it's about chicken. It's like Hasan does nothing. Ethan completely freaks out.
Racist. He can't tell the difference between a migrant Hispanic lady and Hasan's mom.
So I don't think that you're wrong. I will admit that is a very funny theory.
It's funny, but they believe it's funny because it's so fucking stupid, and they all are like, yeah, no, that's what happened.
I could see the appeal of wanting to believe that, especially if they already hate you. Like that is a very funny explanation, but I do think you know the difference between Turkish and Spanish.
But she speaks English. Isn't she American? Or like she's at least lived in America for a long time. I've never met his mom.
I think we got to that. Yeah, I think this is like day 2. This is when he tries to turn the housekeeper, like, you know the best thing to do when you get called out for mistreating your housekeeper is talk about somebody else's housekeeper. who may or may not exist, right? Some people are hypothesizing that Ethan ran into Hasan's mom and somehow, thought that she was, cooking for him or keeping the place clean for him, was employed there. He claims that no, it was for sure, a person that Hasan employed, and he somehow magically knows that she's not paid much more than minimum wage. That's what Ethan said, right? Or he's going to say, "Oh God, I'm getting ahead of us, aren't I? Let's just let Ethan talk."
I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, it wasn't his mom.
You've explained to me the situation with your former housekeeper, and I think it is pretty clear that she's trying to run you down for some money. I definitely, again, you bringing up a housekeeper the day after your housekeeper sues you, it is a little...
It looks a certain way. It looks a certain way. There's no getting around that.
Surely you can see that's a little ironic.
I guess so. I mean, it was on my...
Dan, blink twice if you're in danger, okay? That's all I have to say.
I don't see what's ironic about it.
Like, I understand that the truth will ultimately prevail in your favor on your situation, but I can see why people thought the timing was interesting.
Well, interesting how?
Because it's the day after you got sued by your housekeeper.
Interesting how? What do you mean? What do you mean, Dan? What are you talking about?
What way?
In what way? How would that be interesting?
I mean, come on. It's the day.
Spell it out, Dan.
Because you're talking about somebody else when you just got sued by your housekeeper the day before. And again, I'm telling you, I understand that it's a frivolous lawsuit that's going to get dismissed.
Oh my God.
I'm just optics wise.
I mean, first of all, I had mentioned this before.
I mean, look, I'm sure that Dan doesn't want to lose his job, but if Ethan fired him here, I feel like it would end up being a net positive for him.
And I was waiting to see if people were going to press Hasan to talk about it. They didn't, right? Everybody kind of conveniently ignored.
So what's he saying? I went ahead and watched Hasan's entire VOD. And you know what didn't happen? Him talking about me. I talked about him on Instagram. He's supposed to talk about me on his show, and he didn't do that. He didn't do that.
What I said. So probably was on my mind subconsciously, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I read this post and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to say it. Because it was...
It probably was on my mind subconsciously. No, come on. Oh my God. Maybe it was subconsciously. I was influenced to Dan is it's a little weird to do the day after this happens. What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh yeah. I mean, I guess maybe subconsciously. Maybe subconsciously the idea was there somehow because of the, events of the previous day. What the fuck? What is this? What are we looking at? I thought his mom was actually cooking when I first watched Hasan. Then by the third time, I realized it couldn't be. I mean, I think it's different stuff. Like they get, DoorDash sometime. I am going to be agnostic. I have no idea where the chicken comes from. As far as I know, chat, he gets it out of the wall like Castlevania.
The response to this Reddit post here that says, small example of why Hasan's community is naive as fuck. They really think his mom is the one cooking all that chicken. As if she's not...
This is a fucking post on their Reddit. They really think his mom is the one cooking all that chicken? Oh, they're naive as fuck. That community, they're so naive. They really think his mom is the one cooking all that chicken? All that chicken? Well, you poor summer child. You sweet summer child. Stay gold.
Sentient being with life of her own. They think she's in his house 24/7, day in, day out, cooking his meals if she has no life. Ethan obviously implied Hasan told him he has a personal chef. Actually, no, I met her.
Where does the assumption come that Hasan's chicken is always freshly cooked? I feel like most of the people I know that are weightlifters that eat that kind of, diet, heavy in chicken, right? A lot a lot of boiled or you know, I don't know, baked. How else do they eat it? Chicken. And what they do is they cook like Sunday night. They put like 8 chickens.
Narwhal_by super chatted $10. I just remembered that someone in Hasan's chat asked him who decorated his shelves when he got back from Japan, and he said, "My mom." Is this why he's saying that? Their moms aren't that nice? Lol.
Their moms aren't that nice? Wait, like H3's? I didn't know his mom decorated it. I remember somebody came in and did something. Mom, I guess his mom must have decorated the shelves. Yeah, somebody else like reset the room while he was gone.
She's his housekeeper that does everything for him. But there's actually some updates. I'm not going to say because I don't have 100% proof, but that make her case. I'm pretty sure it's all true, which I'll say when I find out. Makes her case look.
Wait, is that real? You can buy a whole rotisserie unseasoned chicken for $4 and have it Instacarted to from the grocery store? That's a wow.
Obscenely fucking silly.
Your housekeeper's case.
Yeah. Makes it look even dumber and more pathetic.
Interesting.
So that's what I said about it, right?
Well, that's what you said at first, but I'm definitely want to talk to you about the second part.
Here, we'll get there, Dan.
Okay.
I will say this:
as companies grow,
Hasan is.
It takes like no work to make a. Yeah, most of the people I know, they'll make it on Sunday night, and they'll put it in the refrigerator. They'll have, you know, all their chicken for the week.
Been pretty quick to respond to whatever I've been saying about him, not directly, but through other people to discredit me. He's been really quiet on this issue. Also, I'll go a step further. Everyone who visits his house knows this lady. Cutie Cinderella, Austin, Will, Carolyn Kwan, or whatever her name is. I'm sorry if I don't know her name. I think it's something like that. They all know her. They all see her. She's there. She works full time. These people.
But Narwhal by nature. Thank you for the super chat.
People could easily call me a liar. He could sue me for defamation. This is just an outright lie. This is an outright fabrication.
If it were an outright fabrication.
Yeah, this would be an easy defamation.
I suppose that's true.
But somehow everybody's crickets on it. And yeah, all those people are definitely
this started weird and unhinged, and yeah, it seems to be continuing that way as well. Hasan is clearly joking. He hired some people to redo his studio. I saw them on Twitter. Yeah, I heard about that. Or I remember him saying something about this. Oh, so his mom didn't redesign the shelves?
Aware of his hypocrisy, and they keep it mum's the word on it because for obvious reasons, hey, you know what I mean? They're all riding. All those people are on Hasan's tit. Let's be real. He is by far the biggest creator. And he pushes his weight around too, and they know who butters their bread. So yeah, he's a hypocrite, of course, obviously. I mean, who isn't, right? We all have shortcomings. We don't. I mean, you know, we don't. He streams 12 hours a day. He can't cook his own chicken. I don't blame him. I have a housekeeper. You know, very upfront about that. So Hasan says this about. I asked him about his opinion about how janitors in his socialist utopia should be compensated. Here's what he said.
Oh, you have different people in different units that also are, you know, engaging in hiring. Like, it's just that workers now have more of a say in which direction the company should go.
So you get this? He wants to bring it back to the capitalism, socialism discussion.
And that's a good thing. It's not a bad
thing. For me for like a week. And on my business, I spent 5 years building. I don't want to give him a decision on where the company goes.
I think that...
Why should he have that right?
Well,
you know what I
mean? I'm not saying...
Can we all be real and admit... First of all, Hasan, going back and watching this, I was being so gaslit by his audience to being like I was the idiot that needed to just shut up and listen. He's making no sense. He has no fucking clue how socialism is supposed to work. I'm asking him about like the most fundamental basic things about socialism. The whole point.
You can tell that Ethan like, I don't know what he thinks that, like, if you go to a professor of political science, they'll say, these are the 6 steps to socialism. This is what everyone agrees on. This is how socialism works. It is one defined thing, not a million different permutations of ideas of how something like that, which is kind of an unrealized like state of existence, like would work, right? He's like, oh no, but like he can't be like, yeah, no, these are the 6 steps of socialism, my dude.
Point is about the workplace, right? And he can't tell me basic fucking fundamentals of how the workplace is meant to work. Can we all agree that's like a cleaning lady who started 5 years ago should not tell me how to run my fucking business? I mean, that's insane.
I feel like if you're going to use a Teddy Fresh to hire her having a seat at the table as a stakeholder, because she like literally is a stakeholder in your business.
Not that she's not important, but like as the CEO who's been doing this, who founded it, obviously I have access to a lot of knowledge, to a lot of experience, to expertise that makes me more fucking qualified to run my own business. Why the fuck should someone who worked there for 5 years tell me what to do? It's literally insane. It's nonsense. What are we talking about? It's so fucking stupid.
Thank you, Ethan, for illustrating capitalist realism. It's impossible for you to fathom something other than capitalism existing as a mode of production. It's easier for you to imagine the end of the world. There you go. There it is, Ethan.
And I understand you guys like socialism because you think it's fair and it's good, and that's good. We like helping people. People help people, you know what I mean? But this is dumb. Let's just be real about it.
The janitor comes in and unilaterally...
I mean, look, I'm not here to call anyone dumb, Ethan, but you're being kind of dense.
Makes decisions. That's not how
I didn't
that
say
works.
that.
But I'm curious how it does work.
So it's communication. The other person is a human being as well. If you have a major disagreement,
what are you talking about?
Then you look for someone else to work in that.
He is not answering any question.
That position. This is how it works.
Okay.
The
I'm
only
not getting
difference
a
in that
clear answer on the
situation is
rev
that you
share.
And I do keep interrupting here because he's just gish galloping. He's just fucking word salading until I move on. He's not answering my questions.
You don't have the fear of like subsistence living at the other end of that bargain. Whereas
Bro,
like
why are you?
Yeah, you can tell that he thinks he's better than these people he's talking about. The way he talks about a janitor or a cleaning lady, right? He's like, why should they have any say on anything? What do they know about it? They're a janitor. Like, obviously, they've got nothing good to tell me.
That's not what I said. I asked him a very basic question. How
Meow.
a janitor or a house cleaner or someone who's like low on the totem pole, important, should be fairly compensated, whatever, you know what I mean? Should get all the benefits available to everybody. How should they, what's their input on the company? He can't tell me. He can't fucking answer that. He goes on and on about some other unrelated bullshit.
And therefore you're more comfortable.
Has he just been rewatching their old convos all day? I feel like Hasan said something at some point of like, if you want to hear what I have to say about the stuff that Ethan brought up, you know, whether it's communism, socialism, or whether it's Israel, Palestine, then you can watch The Leftovers where we talked about that stuff. So maybe Ethan heard that and he was like, all right, I will watch The Leftovers.
Good living conditions, because
the idea is
that's what I'm already saying. That I don't think that makes socialism unique, because we can provide good living conditions and benefits.
We can, but we have
spitting facts straight up.
Yeah, Hasan was. Yeah, we can, but we haven't. We can. We can. What world is Ethan living in where like workers are well taken care of? What world is he living in where everything is fine? Where we don't need socialism, we don't need something other than capitalism to ensure that people have a decent standard of living. What fucking world is he living in?
Now that, by the way, one aspect of social democracy that we've talked about is the domestic one. We have yet to even uncover the other, much worse side of social democracies, which is resource extraction.
This is what they always say. Yeah, capitalism and social democracy. They take advantage of the third world. Bro, what are you talking about, dude? Look at your fucking life. Look at everything in your life. You are not different at all. And so much they go, so you live in a society, checkmate. It's like, well, you could at least.
Where is he reading that Hasan is like, I'm different, I'm better, I'm special? Ethan has got, like, as much as he, is telling himself that he's better than, all these employees that, he's got for different tasks, like, he's also got kind of an inferiority complex.
Try, if you care about it that much, to offset this slave-like exploitation of the third world. You could at least make a little effort. This motherfucker probably drinks out of plastic straws. I mean, he couldn't even do the paper straw.
Nobody likes the paper straw.
Of course.
Let's be real.
But nobody's going to like paying double the...
Who does he think he is? Sitting in chairs, drinking out of cups? Hasan Piker.
Price for iPhones either. You know what I mean? I'd pick paper straws over double price iPhones. Wouldn't you? They're both very bad. They're both very bad. They would both cause collapse of society.
I don't use iPhones, so...
Okay, fair point. I think you're right. The Samsungs they're ethically made.
For sure.
Yeah, they're made where all the factories are awesome. Yeah.
Third world and imperialism, and that is a necessity under global.
By the way, Hasan's anti-imperialism unless it's China.
Not my flora, not my problem.
Russia or China, Russia. Then it's like, oh, Tibet was actually a third world country, so yeah, they should be colonized and imperialized by China.
I think what he said was that there was slavery and exploitation going on there.
China, awesome, fucking genius. This guy's an idiot. Like, actually, let's go back and look at everything he says. It's nonsense.
I mean, look, I'm not a Tibet. I'm not a historian on Tibet. All right, but that's not what he was saying. That's literally not what he was saying.
The foundation that he talks from is thin as ice. It is ridiculous, and the only reason people support him is because he has this cult-like devotion from his audience that they like. When I'm having this conversation, which objectively I'm offering really valid, interesting counter questions to test his knowledge.
You want to know what's sad though is that conversation that they had about socialism, it wasn't actually Ethan coming on to disprove and debunk socialism. It was Ethan trying his hand at like talking the talk. It was Ethan seeing if he could be a bread tuber. That's what that was. That was Ethan trying to use Hasan Piker, to enter into a new content sphere, into a new audience, right? Into a bread tube. This is what Ethan was doing. Was like, oh yeah, I like socialism, like social democracy, like Denmark and Finland, and those are great. I love the Scandinavian countries. That's wonderful. Yeah, no, I can get behind that. Am I cool? You all? Am I cool?
Because these are questions I'm genuinely wondering about when we start having this.
But I mean, like he doesn't. He sort of thinks that like stuff like the overwhelming power of the capitalists in the system is going to be preserved. Like that one's got to be preserved. That one's got to stay. Because we can't have a janitor making important decisions. No, only Ethan Klein can make important decisions.
Debate about socialism versus capitalism. I went home and I really thought deeply about this. Like, okay, what is it that I think doesn't make sense about this? And I'm going to ask.
I'm sorry, he really thought deeply about that? No, DeepSeek wasn't even invented at this point, Ethan. You were talking to ChatGPT about it, right? You were having a nice conversation. Cult-like devotion from a guy who is currently a huge fan of the sex cult leader Destiny.
If he advocates, he's going to give me a good answer, right? I think I've thought more about
We can't acknowledge that one.
Socialism than he has, frankly, based on his answer.
There we go. I've thought more about socialism than he has.
Global capitalism, and that is the reason why we have the haves and the have-nots. On the domestic level, you believe
this motherfucker. I asked this dude, "How does the workplace work?" And he's talking about third world, resource extraction. Bro, answer the question.
Oh, no. You can't handle the answer. The answer actually includes that. Yeah, you're talking about social democracies, and you're acting like, this is stable by itself. This is standing up by itself, right? No, those countries are in, a very specific time historically, and yeah, they are resting on the extraction of, extraction from third world country or from the global south. Now, that doesn't mean that if we stopped doing that, all of our standards of living would go down. What people don't understand is, in the current configuration, how much of the wealth that exists in the country is tied up in the top fraction of a percent. People underestimate that. But at the same time, when you're just thinking, yeah, we could just do it, this kind of like halfway state, a social democracy, like they've got in Sweden, like they've got in, Scandinavian countries, right? Then everything would be just fine. That's all you don't need any more fairness. You don't need any more socialism than that. That's all you should need.
Regulatory agency that can make.
And you can see why he likes this configuration, because it keeps him and people who control the means of production in power.
Things more just.
I don't feel prepared to have a conversation about the third world stuff because I'm not super familiar.
Yeah, why? What are you doing? Why are you changing the topic? I don't want to talk about that.
I'm sorry, but that you can't understand. You can't understand what you're talking about without understanding how these nations work. What the current configuration is.
Perfectly fine,
but like I can.
But you understand that like that's a part of how everything works.
Who gives a bro? Do you see he's avoiding this question? Do you see how desperately he's trying to get away from this? It's so.
Do you see how you're not intellectually? You were talking about Ethan. You're talking about economics. All right. Now look, economics is a complicated field for most people. Most people don't have the interest or curiosity to inquire about economics. But you're talking about a world system that you're trying to compartmentalize and understand separate from the rest of the world. And Hasan's trying to make it really clear to you that it doesn't exist separate from the rest of the world.
Transparent. He has no idea. He even looks flustered. He even looks like a little red because he knows he looks fucking dumb.
So exploiting in the truest sense of the word is definitely...
My dumbass who just learned about socialism like the day before stumped him. This fucking...
My chat GPT ass stumped him. Yes, you're right, Ethan.
Marxist student theorist revolutionary. I don't... how does socialism workplace work? Actually, I don't know. That's one of the hardest questions to answer. It's like, what? Isn't that like fundamental? Where's the clip of him saying that he doesn't understand how it works? That he doesn't have an answer to it?
Lele says, I have a theory. If he is attacking Hasan, Ludwig, QT, and Mike to keep his show alive and drive traffic his way by engaging all those people's fans, I mean, yeah, possibly. Yeah, he definitely... Look, when he's got drama, especially like in the thumbnail and in the title...
But now there are freaking communist invading radicals.
He is getting more views than on his normal days.
I sent that. Is that in here?
Everything you sent is in here.
So maybe it's this one. Let me pull this up.
Candidly.
Let me add another aspect to your example. Let's say you need to hire a cleaner to come clean the office.
This is literally what's happening in his house.
podcast. She comes, she cleans the office. She works full time. How do you pay her?
Uh-oh. Is this a button? Is this a button situation here? Did we get buttoned? I feel like we got buttoned. No.
Theoretical situation where we
let me go back a bit. I asked
the podcast.
Let me go back a bit. Yeah, he had to button again.
I asked him literally what happens if you hire a cleaning lady, which is like completely analogous to what's happening in Hasan's house.
Let's say you need to hire a cleaner to come clean the office. She works for the podcast. She comes, she cleans the office. She works full time. How do you pay her?
The cleaner side of this is not like, I mean, I don't have an office like that, but the janitorial services
theoretically
in a theoretical situation where we have someone that needs to do it, we would also get together as a unit. Okay, the existing company would get together and decide what level, just like hiring the two other hosts, we decide what level of.
Was there a Morrowind reference in there? Wait, what? In what Ethan said?
Revenue cuts we are going to take from our 5% to give
so you're making her
to the
a job
other
offer.
person.
It's not really that different than a salary.
And yeah, you could pay her a percent. What percent? 0.0.
You can really tell he intensely watches Destiny here. He's pulling out so many of his bad faith critiques.
Like whatever, 5? I mean, it's just end up being a salary. Actually, it'd be worse than a salary because it's completely unreliable. Like Hasan even said about his own podcast, he's like,
wait, so now he's typifying that socialism is when paid a percentage of profits. What?
We have no revenue right now, so I can't really pay you. I can give you like a little something. I remember seeing some chat log like that talking to one of his editors.
And once they,
but according to him, his cleaning lady, his housekeeper, should have an input on his business. Okay? That is not happening.
Do you know that?
Yes.
Oh, in the button thing, there was like a picture of him as a character from Morrowind.
I mean,
his housekeeper.
If I'm being honest, I feel like probably not. Yeah. But I mean, you don't know that.
Okay, do I know that? You know what? There is a possibility that they get together at the end of the day and strategize on content. You're right. He doesn't speak Spanish and she doesn't speak English, but they're having high-level conversations about content.
I'm just saying. You're right. And this leads into the next part because you put a lot of money on this, and I'm kind of sitting here like.
You're right.
Okay, now wait. I'm hearing. Dan just said he put a lot of money on this. Somebody said something about 100K. What's going on here with the money? Did Ethan put some money down on the challenge? Or is he talking about like the possibility of Hasan suing Ethan for defamation?
And listen, hey, we'll get there.
Okay.
They get that job, and there are many different ways of doing this, but once they get that job, and let's say they worked for 2 years, 3 years, then they have a say in the revenue sharing structure and the power sharing structure as well. Because it doesn't have to happen like instantaneously. A lot of people forget that
my problem is that in the socialist economy, this is being regulated by the government. People can get together now and decide to do whatever the fuck they want in their company. And that's great, you know? But in the socialist...
To a certain degree... But if what you want is to maximize the positive effect of the company on all the stakeholders, then your goal is not going to be, maximum profit, maximum market penetration. And if you're competing with companies whose goals are exactly that, yeah, you're just in a race that you can't win. You're either forced to, take out some of what you're coming together on the co-op for in the first place, and losing that, or and look, there are, he bet Ethan 100K that he paid his housekeeper better than Hasan. Oh my God.
Economy, there's rules that says you need to pay her X amount of rev share.
What you're saying is not true.
Okay.
How?
You want to know why?
Yes.
because you want a social democracy, which kind of exists, and market regulation exists under capitalist formations, and plenty of capital owners hate that. As a matter of fact, I would say...
what is he fucking saying?
Well, he's saying... I'm following what he's saying. He's saying even under a capitalist mode of politics, there are still regulations on business. The government is
good. That's what he wants. And my point is that you can already regulate businesses.
Right, to operate in the
we
structure
live
that
in a
he's talking
social
about.
democracy. We can do whatever.
We live in a social democracy.
Like ticking it over another tick.
It's just
Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and our social democracy. Yes.
But what he's saying is not different than what I believe, because we live in a social democracy. It's a giant sandbox where people can do whatever the fuck they want, right? With the confines of whatever
Right.
regulation.
Your point is that if people want to set up their business like a co-op, there's nothing stopping them from doing that currently. Right.
God bless. Do it.
That I understand that point. Yeah.
But anyway, here.
Universally, capital owners hate any kind of market regulation, which is why they choose to erode it as best as they possibly can. Or they use
he's not answering my question. I said, what's the difference? Because paying someone a salary is literally the same thing as being like, okay, you're a janitor, I'm going to pay you 0.07% of the salary. Like, how low of a revenue share can we pay them? Because at the end of the day, it's just going to be equivalent to the salary she already makes, but be less reliable. It's worse.
Their advantage to create an artificial barrier of entry into certain sectors.
I'm saying in a socialist economy, there's going to be laws.
Just like there are laws in a capitalist economy that capital owners hate.
Socialism, how I'm saying the government is telling you how much you need to pay the janitor.
That's not how that would work.
Then how would it work?
But it would be government.
Isn't that how is that functionally different than a minimum wage?
That's my point. That's my point, Dan.
You just said that.
I said that at the same time as this guy. What is the point? Why do we need a revolution? It's the fucking same thing. You guys are reinventing the wheel. It's like, guys, our system is way fucking better than this already.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's my point.
Yeah.
Well,
why do they?
Within our current system, we have the capability of regulating it to whatever we can dream of. So
okay, well, I think we finally found Kamala's advisor for the economy, for issues of economy. It was this guy. I was like, what do we need? We've already got everything we possibly need. You can do anything you want in this economy. It's already way better than any kind of socialist government. Everybody's doing so well.
Socialism is a prison. You have to do what the government says.
I'm just kind of laughing at how the conversation is just kind of like mirroring the.
It's incredible. It's like the same brilliant mind.
The freeze frame view is so good.
The same brilliant mind coming together.
But socialism is much more radical.
It's not. Can we get back on track?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting to the point.
Damn.
Which is ultimately.
You can tell that Dan, if he as a stakeholder had, was able to contribute to the decisions of the company, he might not like the amount that you're talking about, Hasan. But because you're in this, formation where you are the employee, they are your employers, and you've got 100% of the creative control, so to speak. You don't have to worry about the fact that you are pushing the company in a direction that is negative to its stakeholders, as long as it's worth it to you.
Ultimately, I think I'm getting there, which is when he admits his total inability to address this point.
It doesn't have to be.
Moving America to is better than socialism. And you guys are explaining something that to me sounds a lot like something that we can already do without this huge undertaking of changing our economy.
And without giving unlimited government power to tell you who you can hire, what product, how to pay and buy for products, how to get a loan. I'm not a fucking libertarian, but
how to get a loan.
To be real,
what
what he wants is authoritarian. He wants total state.
Authoritarian. He's an authoritarian. Yes.
He wants it imposed, or what you're saying is that he wants it completely imposed on businesses.
He is absolutely an authoritarian. You should hear the way that he talks so lovingly about China when he's talking about Tibet. He goes, "This is a strong central government coming in, doing violent retribution." It's like he fucking loves that, man.
A capitalistic social democracy one to a socialism one. You're talking about a minimum wage. We already do that.
I love how people call me a libertarian because I don't want authoritarianism, guys. There's a fucking huge gap between authoritarianism and libertarianism.
Mm-hmm. And we can already do better with that via
use your brain.
What? What just came out of your ignorant mouth, Ethan? What kind of diarrhea spray was that? What the hell? What is wrong with him? See,
brains, guys.
But the reason why we haven't been able to is because, like,
look at this. You're parroting propaganda, Ethan. Can somebody explain to me how Ethan just wants to hoard his wealth?
He's just picturing a political compass, isn't he? That's what he's doing. That's what he's got in mind, right? He's thinking of the.
Unlike Hasan, please.
Well, I think the best way to explain it is this way. Okay, you like capitalism.
If you guys want to lose your mind, go read the live chat and see the gaslighting that's taking place in this.
Socialist characteristic.
You got cooked. That's what you're complaining about. You want commiseration because you got cooked here. Him arguing with an old debate with himself is and still losing makes no sense. That's what Lele says. Grown-ass man arguing with chat replay. Basically, they live in they look. It's not just Hasan that has free rent in Ethan's head. It's not just Hasan.
Socialism with capitalist character.
Yo, you just said that. So we're
what are we
both
doing
social
here?
So
democrats.
that doesn't mean that I'm no.
difference?
I still believe that the government
Wait, what's
should
the
be.
difference now? You
the
said you like
difference-
socialism
The
with
difference
capitalism.
is no. I said I like socialism with capitalist characteristics, meaning that the governing economy, like the entire economy, still revolves around a socialist mode of production where the owners, the workers are the owners. They own the means of production. They have they have a say in their benefits. They have a say in what happens in the company.
And I can fire them whenever I want, though.
Well, there will still obviously be protections against
Now that's kind of funny. But Bro says that he's a social democrat, but in even some countries that are just slightly to the left of the United States, one of the things that's different is that there are more barriers to firing people, right? That's just a step in the direction of social democracy, though.
And there should be, certainly.
There are now.
And there are now is a great, but the reason why it's not that way is because we have capitalism with laughable socialist characters.
Okay, there's one clip which I hope this linked to it. It's him saying, "I don't know how to." He says, "This is one of the biggest problems in socialism. I don't know how it works." I sent that, I think before this morning maybe.
Wait. I'm sorry. So he's acknowledging that they're not always easy answers. He's acknowledging that there's a lot of disagreement about how to implement something like this. And that he's not even sure what the best answer is. And this is somehow a bad thing?
Tonight. In the meantime, we'll move on. Let's see here.
Add another aspect to your example. Let's say you need to hire a cleaner to come clean the office.
I did that. Hasan coping about the maid situation. Oh, yeah. His fans coping is just...
I don't think he is... There is no maid situation for Hasan. There's a maid situation for Ethan Klein. There's a maid who does not like the way that they were treated there's a housekeeper who does not like the way that they were treated and is suing Ethan Klein. As far as I know, no employees have taken Hasan to court.
It's fucking phenomenal, you guys. Here is on Hasan Piker's subreddit. What is he even talking about? He's making shit up. Silliness aside, it's very funny to me that my man still thinks social.
Yeah, no, it's not Hasan that's hoping, as Ethan says. He's actually talking about people on a subreddit.
Is when we all
he's talking about Redditors.
Toothbrush. Dude, the level of dishonesty that these people are forced to go to engage with a conversation is nuts. Socialism is when we all share a toothbrush? No. Dude, stand on your shit or don't. If Hasan has a worker in his house, then she should be making a percentage of his business and having an input on his businesses. Like, let's fucking be real, okay? I'm not talking about sharing toothbrushes, and I'm not talking about how much money can you make. Like, these people are fucking dumb. They're just dumb. I don't know if I think they're dumb and they're in a cult. I don't know how to explain it.
A few times.
Super convenient to expose this mythical unpaid chef, housekeeper, while you're in a lawsuit against your former employee for many other issues. Listen, both
this
can be
is what
true.
I was saying is just optically,
Both
this
can
is
be
such an
true.
obvious dunk.
Okay, sure. Both can be true.
Yeah.
Ethan just blatantly lying about the silliest shit. That sounds like an easy defamation win. Odds he saw Hasan's mom and is so stupid and ignorant and racist that he assumes she's a Hispanic housekeeper. What a stupid lie to make up. Sue me for defamation.
Right. Yeah. That would be an easy dub.
You know? And by the way, this post was erased after getting some traction. That's weird. Why would they want to erase something like that? Probably because Hasan told them to erase it.
What? Hasan told them to erase it.
Probably. Otherwise, why wouldn't they want to fucking show a post about what a dumb idiot liar I am? That seems like good content.
You would much rather spend your time going after someone
Yes.
who is actually considering genuinely going to Gaza.
I know. How is that going, by the way? Is he still considering it?
To Gaza?
I want to go easy on him as long as he's still considering it. He deserves our respect and admiration. There was more, like the Mike from PA coping.
That's in here. This, number 6.
Anywho.
Oh, right. This is, and you had these notes that you had some updates on your lawsuit.
Let me see here. Did you find it, AB, the clip I'm asking?
Yeah, it was sent in.
Yeah, it's on the subreddit. Okay, here. This was on the subreddit, which is what reminded me of it. Ethan and Hasan discuss employment under socialism. It perfectly shows Hasan's hypocrisy. He's not even able to articulate basic things. And somehow, I'm an idiot. Listen to this. Just listen to this.
Kind of just like a disconnect, or not a disconnect, but maybe at an impasse on that idea. But what I'll say, I want to give you a specific example because this is interesting to me. Let's just take this workplace as an example because we're all familiar with it. So I started
That's what he
my
sounded
career
like
10 plus years ago.
That's what you sound like, Hasan.
It's getting a little petty.
Do you think?
No, fuck that. Listen how stupid he sounds.
I didn't think you sounded like that.
Hold on, let me go back
said,
more.
Yeah, but what I'll say,
let me go back.
I want to give you a specific example because this is interesting to me. Let's just take this workplace as an example because we're all familiar with it.
Pull it, Zach.
I'm not hearing what he's hearing. I'm not hearing it at all.
It's not that
So,
bad.
I started my career 10 plus years ago.
God.
And I was successful by myself with 0 employees.
Yes.
I made a lot of money. I did well for myself.
Ethan
And
is
then,
sick in
you know,
every clip.
5
It
years
is
ago,
concerning,
into
honestly.
my
It is
career,
concerning.
I made
And I feel like I have something again in my throat.
Oh, God.
It's very concerning. I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Well, I mean, you've been trying to figure out the autoimmune stuff for a while now. I mean, that could certainly be connected, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I made the podcast, which obviously you all are watching now. So let's say we go back to 5 years ago when I hired Dan as a freelance. You started as like a consultant.
That's me.
5 years.
Yeah, or freelance.
This was,
me.
this was that long ago? That's fucking... Because now we've been working together, what, like 8 years?
7? I think 7.
No, it has to be longer.
I think so,
I think it's going on 8.
Feels longer.
I think it'll be 8 later this year, if I'm remembering correctly. 2017. This year's 2025. Yeah, it'll be 8.
What a beautiful journey.
What a journey.
Beautiful.
Just like The Bachelor. What a journey. When I'm going on this journey. It's how they say journey all the time.
Would you be my forever producer?
Are you giving me a rose?
Will you be my forever?
Are you giving me a rose?
I'll give you a microphone or something. An aux cable.
A bejeweled microphone? An aux cable.
Full time, and I'll get to that.
Yeah.
So he started as like a freelance consultant. So what would be a fair way of compensating him for that?
In your situation, it's like, what is the most like socialist way of doing it? Is that what you're at?
Dude, I couldn't have stated it more clearly. Okay, go ahead. You're buying time.
Asking?
Well, yeah, because that's what we're talking about, right?
It would be.
My answer is that's what we're talking about. What do you mean? How would you be paid under socialism? Yeah, the fucking thing we've been talking about for the last 2 hours. Nice try.
It would be profit sharing. What
so
that
I
means
just
is
so this is interesting.
So
Hold on.
This is interesting.
I do not have ligma, okay, you guys? It's not funny. I do not have ligma, okay?
It's a little bit funny,
I have
dude.
Jenna.
No, don't go there. That's not funny.
Maybe that's not a good one.
That's
Sorry.
not funny, bro.
It's not funny.
I don't like ligma is
That's a source call from me.
vajazzled.
I didn't realize we're starting that now. Here we go.
We're not.
Oh.
I'm not done yet, you guys.
Nice.
Do you see how hard the stakeholders, the crew is pulling him away from the Charybdis, from the vortex, from the void. They're pulling him back. They're trying to get him to come back to us, Ethan. Let's do another tale from Reddit. You like that? We'll make fun of a Reddit post.
I'm not done yet.
Nope, he's not done. He hasn't done enough damage to his own fucking company yet.
This is actually the most difficult.
He's making a great argument about why employees do need to be stakeholders. You got something at stake. I've had this experience before, right? Where, my boss has done something stupid that's gonna fuck up the business, and even I can see it. It's like
difficult aspect, in my opinion, of like trying to create the most ethical way of existing under a capitalist organization of the economy.
Play it again. Look how dumb he sounds, bro.
Please.
Are you okay, Ethan?
Everyone watching right now, pull Ethan doing that exact same thing. I swear you've done it the past week.
While you are also productive, and you're doing like an owned and operated media company where you are the product.
So I hired Dan as a consultant.
Yeah.
Just to help us out to get things.
And I have hired people as well.
So then I'm profit sharing with him. How much profit am I sharing with him?
So the way I do it,
and that is a valid question, because there's a difference between like a whole percentage and like 0.5%. If you can just decide how much to pay him, then it's literally no different than salary. It's literally the same fucking thing.
Not literally. It would be a little different because your pay would be tied to revenue, right?
It would be practically the same thing, and in my opinion, and a lot of times worse, because you.
If the company does work, everybody does work, and if the company does well, everybody gets paid a little more.
And you guys get paid, and like you guys know that you have a stable salary, like you have a fucking job. You have a rent. You have bills. You got kids in school and shit. You're not going to work somewhere where you can just like get half the pay all of a sudden because you had a bad week.
No, I understand. I mean, this is actually an interesting analogy to explore, because in my particular situation, which you're bringing up in this clip of coming and working for you, I was coming from a life of living off of being a freelance gig worker, essentially, working on corporate events or, premieres and like all that kind of stuff. And the company that I worked with, I would essentially get a percentage of the profits from the shows. And when I first started working for you, it was actually a pay cut to come work for you.
Sure.
I was making more money doing what I had done previously by a fairly significant margin.
Sure, that makes sense.
But as you said, it was very unreliable. I would some months I would make crazy money. At least it felt that way at the time. And then there would be dry spells.
What is Ethan trying to say about his
for a couple months? And so, there is something to be said for the stability. That is why I took the job with you, is because I was sick of not knowing if I'd had rent money the next month.
And how's your salary compared, just so the people know?
What, now?
Yes.
Well,
now.
I mean, after 8 years, I make a lot more money here.
Thank you.
Than I was previously. Yeah, 100%.
Just being clear. Yeah, that was when the podcast just started. I didn't want to give. I was paying people kind of like. Because again,
Listen, it wasn't so low that it was like insulting. I'm just saying it was. I traded off the stability for the higher amount of money that I was making.
I acknowledge that because as the capital owner, the one who's presuming the risk, right? I have to be responsible with how I'm managing the business until we're at a point where it's like, okay, this is working, we're making good money, and then I start giving everybody raises to compensate them fairly. You were going to say something, AB?
Oh, I was going to say my bank account was negative 300 when you hired me. My uncle gave me gas money to drive here from Michigan.
Damn, bro. I didn't realize shit was that dire.
Been there.
I had a long dry spell, as Dan put it.
Shit, bro.
I mean, he's not doing anything to beat the out of touch allegations, right? If he doesn't understand that kind of.
You paid, brother. I didn't know that. I would have offered you less salary.
Do you remember what I said when you asked what I wanted?
No.
I said, give me anything.
You're like, anything?
I said, I'll take anything. I was a hell of a negotiator back then. I was very I was very happy with it.
To be fair, yeah. But,
yeah.
But anyway, what was I saying is that, people look at socialism, Hasan and his audience who are like cultishly like dedicated to this idea. They look at it with these rose-colored glasses because you don't actually have to live it.
What? The fuck is he talking about?
And I'm trying to be practical about this. There are so many issues. So many issues.
You want to talk about somebody who's out of touch, Ethan?
And they just, nobody wants to interface with it, Like this is, not only is this isn't a niche issue what we're talking about. This is like, would affect millions of people. Like freelancing, coming in to just do a gig. You know what I mean?
Wait, I'm sorry. Is that he thinks that communism is the gig economy. No, Ethan, that shit exists right now under capitalism. In fact, were we to actually move to something more like a social democracy, like you said you wanted to, that would be one of the first things that we'd get rid of. That's one of the most exploitative sectors of labor that exists. You literally come in, call your business an app, and therefore declare yourself out of the reach of any sort of regulations on similar services that don't operate by an app. I mean, it's literally that's literally the game plan. Come in, undercut the industry, tear it out by the roots, and then
gig. Yeah,
that exists right now under. What is he talking about? He thinks that's what socialism is, the gig economy. What?
Great points.
This will be, this is instructive for many others as well. The way I do it, like the most ethical way to do it, is basically try to make an assessment. Sure, there's market considerations on the one hand, like what the normal wage would look like, but that is like the minimum. You know what I mean? That is like the minimum. That is the worst possible amount to pay someone in the form of wages, in my opinion.
Okay.
So you have the market considerations on the one side, which I don't necessarily care too much about. On the other side, you have your productive out.
This man he can't even barely communicate his ideas. They say, if you understand something, you can explain it so a 5-year-old gets it. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, this is what you sound like.
Output, right? Let's say.
And since I have the brain of a 5-year-old, which is what Hasan said, then he really should be, make it a little simpler to understand. Because right now, he's just going on and on.
I'm sorry, but if you really look at your level of understanding, like there's a limit to how he can explain it to you. And with your like lack of patience, right? This is the whole thing. Ethan asks about like what's wrong with social democracy. Hasan points out that it's still resting on exploitation of the global South. And Ethan is like, I don't know anything about that. I don't care about that. That's not what I want to talk about. Just assuming that you can compartmentalize these two things that are in a, they're related. You really want to understand how shit works. You can't just be like, I'm not interested in XYZ. You said you wanted to know about economics. That's what you're talking about, all right? If you don't have the patience to do so, like, yeah, you can go to like a professor of physics and ask them to explain to you like quantum level interactions. But if you don't have any framework to place that on, you're not going to retain much. And you're certainly not going to, if they were to give you the test from the class that they're teaching, that comprises that topic, you would not pass it. So what do you mean? Like, this is an issue for the best educators out there.
You were making $10 before Dan came on, and now that Dan came on, you're making...
That wouldn't be measurable metric.
No, I know.
But then what? But that's important. You can't just yada yada that. That's important, right? It's like nobody's drilled down and tried to figure out this. Y'all want socialism and you never thought about how like this works? Like, let's get to the nuts and bolts here, guys. It's like nobody...
That wouldn't be measurable metric.
No, I know.
He's just going on and on.
You were making $10 before Dan came on, and now that Dan came on, you're making...
That wouldn't be measurable metric.
No, I know.
But then what? But that's important. You can't just yada yada that. That's important, right?
No, I mean, this is literally part of Marxist theory. Like that concept that you're talking about. Like, yeah, no, it's...
Like nobody's drilled down and tried to figure out this. Y'all want socialism and you never thought about how like this works?
Yeah, Marx talks a lot about value. Like labor theory of value is a whole...
Like, let's get to the nuts and bolts here, guys. On its face, sure, it sounds great.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I know. Which is why I'm saying it's a tricky situation.
It seems almost impossible.
Yeah. Well, technically, the other side is also very cruel, but we just like have
that's
normalized.
Not true, because in social democracy, people are fairly compensated. It's not cruel, in my opinion.
No, there's. I don't think. I think we
people
think
can be
of social
more fairly.
I think that's too
fairly
broad of a statement.
Did I say I don't think it's cruel? Yeah, I mean, it can be.
No, and specifically that,
Yeah, here's the problem with Ethan.
You're talking about an idea.
He wants to... I thought, from seeing the very first interactions with Hasan and Ethan about socialism, my impression was that Ethan wanted to get into the sphere that Hasan is in. And he was like, okay, yeah, so leftist, right? You like socialism, right? Like democratic socialism, right? I'm cool. Am I cool? And, that he proceeds to show that he doesn't understand what that is. Either thinks that we already have it or... And just very clearly prioritizes the importance of the hierarchy in the workplace. Like, right, that is like, he's like, yeah, but the CEO's got to make the call on everything at the end of the day. We don't want any of the other stakeholders to have any sort of say in the moves the company makes.
Idealized version of social
where
democracy,
there's
where people are
regulations
fairly
that
compensated.
ensure like a minimum.
Right. I was about to object to it just on the basis that in capitalism broadly, there's no
As it's
guarantee that
expressed
people
today,
are-
it has a ton of issues and it is absolutely unfair.
Sure.
It's grossly unfair. But like if we're talking about like a
We could make it so much better.
you know,
Yeah, nobody's ever said that before, Ethan. Nobody's ever said that.
society, again, looking at Scandinavia, which is a capitalist society, make no mistake, they have strong unions, high minimum wages, and that's what I would
I mean, they literally don't have minimum wage, but whatever. Whatever, Ethan.
advocate. That's what I advocate for, right? So assuming
That's not how their wages work.
An economy with strong unions, like you're describing, essentially is a middle point between like
what's socialist about unions?
that I mean, the point of unions is that the workers.
Like Dan was for a minute. He can't be this stupid, can he? Oh my God, he can. Oh my God, he can. And it's my job to make him feel like he's really smart. It's my job.
Are able to collectively
to validate his fucking ignorance. Jesus Christ.
Bargain.
That exists already in America, which is apparently quintessential capitalism. It exists since the 1950s when America was like the most fucking capitalistic Gilded Age shit ever.
Much earlier.
What? Did he just call the 50s the Gilded Age? Did he just call this the most Gilded Age shit ever? What does he think that means? Yeah, I'm sorry. This guy has given us hand turkeys. And I'm not putting it on my refrigerator this time. Fuck this. Fuck your hand turkey, Ethan. This is... What the...
In the 1950s, but...
Or I mean Express, yeah.
Like
unions are not...
They're not inherently...
Like he tries to say that he was right and Hasan it was wrong, and he makes himself... He reveals even more of his ignorance.
Socialist, but it's definitely if you're looking at it on a spectrum of how much control the CEO of a company has versus the entire workforce. The union, a company having a strong workers union is certainly pulling it in the direction of the workers having more say in things.
That's why social democracy is awesome.
Right. So I don't. That's the irony of all of this is you are far from a hardcore, laissez-faire capitalist.
Not at all, but like when people talk about these systems, people talk about social democracy and like they just say capitalism evil. Like there's so much more.
That is such a reductive straw man of the no, it's not capitalism bad, socialism good. It's not fucking binary. All right? If you have a historical analysis, you identify other changes of mode of production, which were, at the end of the day, a step forward. Meaning that, yes, there's worse than capitalism, there's feudalism, there's despotism. Right? There's definitely, systems that are worse than capitalism. This is not what socialists actually think. This is not what Hasan thinks.
You get no disagreement from me about that. I mean, yeah.
And the same way people talk about socialism is like, it's just when people get paid fairly. It's like, that's not what it is. You know what I mean?
Unions in Sweden are so powerful that there is no legal minimum wage, actually.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's all collective bargaining.
So I mean, and that's good. I don't think that social
is it because you seem to argue with the principle that collective bargaining represents. You know what unions are? They're groups of employees that force their companies to deal with them as stakeholders. They don't get to call all the shots, but they've got more say than in how they're treated in their workplace and all these and even in the moves the company's making than they would if it was just them unilateral, or not unilaterally, but like, you know, singularly dealing with the company as an employer.
Socialism owns unions. I mean, workers should be able to unionize.
I
mean?
think it's cool because then, like, if you want to do a little project and like, and you're outside the union, you could technically do whatever you want. You're not legally bound to anything.
It's all offers.
But bigger companies has to abide by the unions.
There's nothing antithetical about workers having more power and social democracy. Everything is possible, you know?
But like generally speaking, they'd be more fairly compensated than what you would see today.
Yes, in comparison to the United States of America, which technically would be a mixed market or social democracy, social democracies in other countries, there is better compensation.
So here's the unintended consequence of that.
Due to, you know, regulation, government regulation.
If I'm just hiring Dan to come in and help me with cameras and stuff, and I have to
Yeah, Sisyphean, I'm kind of worried about the same stuff too.
cut him in on profit share, people are not going to hire as many people. They're going to think a lot more before they bring more people on.
To me, that is such an important point.
I'm so shocked that you are.
So he's looking at it like, you know, hey, you know, the only good socialism that you can argue me into is the socialism that is good for me as a capitalist. Right? There's something pretty basic that he's missing. Something that ChatGPT did not give him, and that is the fundamental contradiction at the heart of the question, right? There's a contradiction, unresolvable, between the interests of capital and the interest of labor. They're diametrically opposed. And there's no way that they can be otherwise. And so for him to say, I as a capitalist do not like this idea of, you know, workers that have more of a say, that have
many people. They're going to think a lot more. If I'm just hiring Dan to come in and help me with cameras and stuff, and I have to cut him in on profit share, people are not going to hire as many people. They're going to think
classic libertarian argument
a lot more before they bring more people on.
To me, that is such an important point.
I'm so shocked that you are resonating with all of your own point. I know, it's just funny.
I know, and this guy's really good.
Should hire him.
You're hired, man. You get it all.
Yeah.
Come run our business. You get everything.
You could profit share with him too.
Hell yeah. You know, like, it's so important to think about this.
Yeah, no,
it's just different.
If you're going to heavily advocate for somebody, you should be prepared to talk about it. And I mean, that's why I don't like engaging about it. I don't feel I'm particularly qualified.
And that I respect. That I respect. Because these are not. Listen, these are not easy answers, easy questions to answer.
I've never started a business, so what do I know about running one?
Sure. No.
I bow down to you, Mr. Businessman. God damn, Dan, you're sad. This is a sad guy.
You know, but Hasan is like this advocate. He's like a face of socialism online, and this man can't fucking, you know, tell me a goddamn thing about how it works.
Okay, but the reason why I was bringing up the revenue is because let's say you were making you're making $10. Dan comes on, now you're making $15.
Yeah.
Right? Dan has brought in $5 extra of revenue for you, and I think that the best possible way to engage with that would be to cut Dan in on like offer Dan living wages plus whatever Dan has brought in the form of revenue.
Here's a big problem.
And that move
that already exists. It's called a bonus.
That moves into direction like you make. And
yeah,
then
well, the
later
difference
down the
is
line,
that a bonus is discretionary.
Well, you can, well, not always. Sometimes they're negotiated in the contract. Yeah, I think a lot of high-level jobs, their bonuses are negotiated in.
For high-level jobs.
Sure, yeah. We're talking about, yeah, you're right. We're talking about meats and potatoes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fine, you make $100,000 and
moves with
now, Dan is moving with it as well.
Here's where this seems more like it's a nice theory, but like in application, it makes no sense. Who decides how much value he's brought? how could you possibly decide that? If my show is growing, Dan joins, and let's say, now I'm making $15.
Spitting.
But the show was organically growing. How can I attribute all 5 of that to Dan?
This is what it looks like when you prepare for a conversation, by the way. Because he's a genius, right? He says, I'm so fucking stupid, and I have the brain of a 5-year-old. And I'm incapable of understanding things.
I mean, he perhaps should have come with more concrete examples to present. We didn't know that was going to be the topic of the show that day. So,
yeah, well, I think in his mind, he's like, I know everything there is to know. I'm a pro. I breathe this shit all day, every day. What's there to know? I don't bother to learn more. I don't bother to inquire more. I'm gonna. You know what he does? This man has mastered the art of monetizing socialism, which is the most capitalist thing to do in the world.
I don't know. In a world that requires you to participate in capitalism to survive, if you can find a way to do so at the expense of the capitalist system, I think you just won the game. Several Wolf says, watching Ethan is so tedious and stressful. Vox Populi. We are at 35% now. We're nearing the natural end of the show. If we get it to 35, though, I can stay on a little bit longer and cover one more topic. But yeah, that's what is that? 65 points away from that.
Merch. Every single fucking shirt is about some virtue signaling about being socialist. Every single fucking one. His entire life, he makes no concessions. All he just runs defense for himself by saying, capitalism.
What the fuck are you talking about, Ethan?
Socialism is when you live in an economy or whatever. It's like, yeah, I live in an economy. You make no concessions, bro.
Ethan, you've been fucking caught lying. You've got a lie counter on your show now. You've been wrong on so many things. You want to talk about concessions? How about a concession to Denims when she proved that you were putting words in the mouth of the person that you were trying to weaponize as an excuse for being a misogynist douchebag to Denims? No, you do not get to say this. Sasha G with the 10 gifted memberships. Catoms, you just got weaseled. Mike Harris, you just got weaseled. Welshie Jim, you just got weaseled. Kuma-chan, you just got weaseled. Kate, you just got weaseled. Diane Meyer, you just got weaseled. Felicia, you just got weaseled. Mode TN, you just got weaseled. Razor Blaze, you just got weaseled. And Gonzo Shorts, you just got weaseled, and that's a good thing. That's a fairly amazing thing. Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Sasha G, oh my gosh. Did I even drink enough oh my god. How am I out of tea so fast? That brings us to 65% on the bonus poll. What's winning right now? Legal Eagle on Ethan. Ethan. God, I'm so bad about this. I always get Ethan mixed up with Elon. I don't know why. That's at 60%. More Ryan Beard, Destiny Nuke, that's at 14%. 525-pound bear found under a man's house. That's at 13%. And Zizians, aka the vegan Sith cult, is at 12%.
Jin Zhao super chatted $9.99. We are going to bonus tonight.
We are going to bonus, says Jen. We shall see. But that does bring us to 75%. On the bonus meter, wait, somebody said Vox, 2% for Vox, right?
Izzy Sanchi, super chatted $10. Legal Eagle, please.
Legal Eagle? Legal Eagle. Legal Eagle. It's doing pretty well, actually. No comment. I need to get the, Ethan says no comment in his video where he's going off on denims. I need to get that sound drop. That would be such a good sound drop to have.
Oh, bro can't even drink out of the paper straws.
You keep coming back to the paper straws. I don't know if it's really that relevant of a point.
All right, well, here's a good one. Let's see how you treat your housekeeper.
He's like supposed to bust his balls, but only a little bit. I don't know. What's the game that Ethan has with Dan? Narwhal by nature with the infinite. Deal with it. Sunglass. Video game controller. With a proud face. Thank you for the super sticker, Narwhal by nature. I don't think I've seen that one yet. Socialism is when paper straws. That's right. That's right. Zizian. Zizian, it is Ian. Haha. That was silly.
That's why it all comes back to that.
Okay.
Let's see how you treat your housekeeper.
That is more pertinent to the discussion than the paper
That's,
straw.
you know, if I'm wrong about that, let's see the fucking receipts.
Yeah, so we still haven't gotten to that, but
We'll get there.
You keep saying that, but I feel like I really want to talk about that.
I'm enjoying
part.
myself.
See, I want to get every time I hear the paper straw in Sweden, plastic straws are banned. I just want to glaze my country.
There you go, man.
Well, they were on their way to being banned here until Trump just undid it with an executive order.
I remember in LA, everyone was using paper straws, and then all of a sudden, everyone bailed on it.
They needed work. They needed work.
Well, people,
I feel like having a straw at all is bougie. That's bourgeoisie excess is using a straw. Just sip.
Dude,
just sip, man.
Drinking out of cups.
When I come back to Sweden, I'm like, I try to buy plastic utensils and stuff. I couldn't find it. There's these weird.
I mean, they are sitting in chairs.
Like a eco plastic, fake plastic now, made of wood fiber. That's like pretty legit. It's almost like plastic, but it's wood.
They've gotten better. Yeah, they've gotten better at the pseudo.
We don't even do plastic
stuff.
lids anymore.
And people laugh like a plastic straw, like who gives a fuck? How's that?
Yeah.
But actually, it is important because these little plastics are actually the ones that are like creating all these microplastics in our water system and stuff.
Yeah.
So the straws, all the little plastic.
So suck it up and use the paper one.
Good for Gabby. My housekeeper kept my house.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. He can make that. He can make that concession.
What about you?
First of all,
you're the one talking about microplastics.
It is a good thing to do, but I'm also not. I'm not saying I'm a socialist. I'm not complaining about us, pillaging the third world.
Environmentalism. This has nothing to do with socialism.
Sipping a plastic straw with a pinky, with your pinky.
I'm sorry, Ethan. You got that reactionary estimate. I don't know what's up with you, but you got this weird thing. You can take the, douchebag out of the anti-SJW YouTube algorithm, but you can't take the anti-SJW YouTube algorithm out of the douchebag. I don't know. Yeah, I thought paper straws were win socialism.
As well.
Plenty of capitalists.
Thank you for re-upping the membership. Good for Gabby.
Care about the environment.
Hasan drinks out of a golden straw?
I don't know that. I don't know that.
Oh wow.
I don't think you know that either.
Which would actually be fine because that would not. You know?
I mean, if it's a reusable golden straw, that's actually kind of dope.
Yeah, that's kind of dope.
Yeah.
I want a golden straw.
Should we get golden straws?
Kind of. That sounds
I
sick.
think we literally have like golden. Maybe they're bronze.
They're probably
or
like bronze or plated.
Yeah, we need
golden straw.
Yeah, and I love when you bring up Sweden because I agree. Sweden is a very model society in terms of how social democracy can be expressed. And this is the point I made to Hasan is that, you know, in Sweden, I doubt anybody there really gives a fuck about socialism because everybody's well taken care of for it.
You know, there's these cliques, obviously, but
That's the best thing. There we go. Ethan, you know it. You're exactly right. Yeah, social democracy is to make people forget about socialism. Look, I mean, I know there's some people that pursue social democracy with an intent to really reform their way into a better system, reform their way out of the current mode of production. And I respect that. I don't think it's practical. I've seen it, do exactly what Ethan is saying, which is essentially, make you forget that there is something better to be strived for. Lull you into a sense of security where you accept the inequities that remain, and you end up still with some kind of accumulation going on, where every year the rich are getting there's more distance between the rich and the rest of us every year after year.
My circles, I've never even.
It's like, who cares? What do we need socialism for? We're all doing fine.
Yeah, and I'm sure Swedish people are kind of come out. It's like, actually, there are socialist people in Sweden, but
I'm sure they are. They're everywhere.
In my very personal life, I've never had a friend that's like super.
Ela's in the.
Of course, they exist. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah,
Ela's in our WhatsApp saying we only have reusable straws, no plastic straws at home.
Ela's right. We use metal straws at home. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, the capitalist.
He might use iron straws. You don't know.
Bro,
I just
here's what I'm saying. AB, find this man drinking out of a plastic straw. You'll find me doing it too, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, I'm being silly. We don't need to do that. But my point is that I'm not virtue signaling about what a fucking,
You're saying practice what you preach, which is fair. That's
like
fair.
I get to be a piece of shit, and you can't say shit to me. And then I get to call him a piece of shit for any degree to which he falls short of perfection.
The difference between me and Hasan is that he lives under this mirage of being.
Yeah, why do we need it? We're doing just fine. Such an absolutely privileged and out of touch, Bread Bro. I agree. That's what he. Oh no, he's doing the Elon thing. No, just kidding. He's not.
Humanity, because he believes in socialism, and he's such a good guy for it. That is the only fucking difference, is that he says this without actually considering the reality of it. And so he gets the accolades, he gets the congratulations. He's such a good guy, Hasan.
Okay, I'll give you a counterpoint. Two things. One, I remember when he was launching his merch, and I'm making an assumption here that this is still the case, but he was using like local producers and stuff, right? Which I'm sure made it way less profitable for himself to do it that way.
Yeah,
that is an example of him, actually kind of following through on his principles.
I asked Hasan once how he did his manufacturing, because as someone who obviously owns a clothing business, manufacturing in America is way fucking expensive. You wouldn't be able to make a shirt here for and sell it for without charging like $60, $70. So when I asked him,
that much more expensive,
dude, yeah, it's like easily, yeah.
I mean, I believe you obviously know more about how much clothes cost.
It is very expensive to hire American workers, especially in Los Angeles.
Okay, so chat, it looks like we've hit the bonus goal. And it also looks like Legal Eagle on Elon is ahead. If there's anybody who's donated and you haven't spoken up for your donation, you want to add that to the topic of your choice, now is the time to speak up, because it looks like the two leaders are Legal Eagle Wait, what? Why does it say 70%? Okay, I typed that in wrong. Let's see. It's not as ahead as I thought it was. It's 70%, right? Should be 70%. 70% to 50% for the vegan Sith cult. So, if there's anybody that has objections into going forward into legal eel on Elon, speak now. Hasan's hoodies are $35 on sale right now. A lot of his stuff is. I love saying legal eagle out loud. Do I say it weird? Yeah, you're right, Sasha G. There should be a Dono Goal song. I should write one. Zizians with your donos. Okay, let's see. Have I got... Yeah, it looks like he doesn't practice bird law. Very suspicious. Wait, Narwhal, I'm seeing 35. Are the Zizians related to Zizek? That's what I thought too. And the other thing I thought was they were related to like, there's like a bodybuilder that that got on performance enhancing substances and like died. Isn't there named Ziz? But anyway, never gonna recover from the psychic damage Ethan Klein has done to me in the past few months. He might be dumber than Musk, maybe more cringe. Okay, yeah, okay, so 35 plus the 3 that was already there, plus 12 is 50 for the vegan Sith cult, and we have Legal Eagle at 10% plus 60% for 70%, so it looks like that one's ahead right now, if I'm counting correctly. Klein, Elon Musk, and who? Oh my god. Oh, Laura Loomer. Or Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace. I'm trying to think who else. Benny Johnson? Benny Johnson. That's a Nightmare Blunt Rotation member. Okay, so it looks like we're going to check out Legal Eagle's video. If I've done my job correctly and added things up, Legal Eagle. How Elon hijacked the government.
Seems to have access to all of your private government data. You're cool with that, right? Well, backed by President Trump, Elon Musk has been given the keys to the kingdom, almost literally. Musk and a hodgepodge group of engineers, some as young as 19, successfully secured access.
I I hate seeing that image because I know what he's doing. He's dunking. He's dunking by showing that he can do it and still somehow maintain some kind of plausible deniability. That's fucked up. A blunt rotation with Elon Musk, Gary Vee, Ethan Klein. Oh my god. That is psychic damage.
Seems to have access to sensitive data about seemingly every American. So everyone has been asking whether it's legal for Elon Musk to have this much power and this much data. And the answer may surprise and disturb you. The new Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent granted Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency team access to the federal payment system, which processes over $5 trillion annually in Social Security, Medicare, and tax refunds. But people who work for Musk at SpaceX and Twitter are now government employees with direct access to all this information. For example, a recent report by Wired revealed that Marco Ellis, a 25-year-old engineer, has direct access to the U.S. Treasury Department's Payment Automation Manager, or PAM, and
I'm trying to remember, is that the Nazi guy or is that the balls guy?
Secure Payment System, the SPS. These systems are responsible for managing a significant portion of government disbursements, including Social Security, Medicare benefits, federal salaries, government contracts payments, and tax refunds. Ellis's access reportedly includes administrator-level privileges, allowing him to read and write code within these critical systems. And Ellis reportedly had the ability to make those changes without testing them first. Treasury employees tried to fight back against what they believed to be illegal orders. Acting Treasury Secretary David Lebrick resigned on January 31st, 2025, following a dispute with Musk allies. Lebrick had served in various capacities within the Treasury Department for several decades and was appointed as the Fiscal Assistant Secretary in 2014. CNN reported that Bessent threatened Lebrick with legal consequences if he did not grant Doge the ability to stop payments. And Musk's control of the Treasury includes the Bureau of the Fiscal Service, which, quote, handles more than 1 billion financial transactions annually for the U.S. government, both outgoing grants and payments and incoming tax receipts. While serving as the largest cash management operation in the world, BFS collects personal and financial information about the people and businesses on the other side of the transactions, including names, social security numbers, birth dates, birthplaces, home addresses and telephone numbers, email addresses, and bank account information. What could Musk do with all of that data? Oh, nothing. Just sell it, use it for blackmail, delete it, alter it, make it all public, or feed it into some giant non-secure AI. It really could be all that bad. And that's just the beginning. Musk has already shared data with outsiders. For example, Musk posted about his fines on Twitter. He revealed specific federal payments to Lutheran social services organizations. Musk called these payments illegal. They are not illegal. The BFS is also responsible for Treasury bond interest payments, and apparently Musk and his team have read-write control of BFS systems, which were coded decades before they were born. So is any of this legal? Well, probably not. Here are all the laws that Musk potentially has broken. Now, the issue is broader than whether Elez or the other Doge team members could change code. Federal agencies have improperly stopped sending money Congress lawfully allocated. And as we've covered recently, and we'll probably cover again in greater detail, most of it is flatly illegal. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously in Train versus New York that when Congress directs the money to be spent, the president is obligated to do it. Otherwise, Congress's laws, that is, the laws of this country, would be merely advisory to the president. And we kind of fought a war to prevent that. And fundamentally, the president refusing to spend money as Congress directed violates the Appropriations Clause as well as the Take Care Clause of the Constitution. And failing to spend congressionally required funds also violates—
They really have a Take Care Clause. That's so cute.
The Impoundment Control Act of 1974.
It is an extension of January 6th. It's exactly what Bannon wanted to happen. Bannon lamented that, it's a lot like what Curtis Yarvin described too. The MAGA did not have enough shock troops ready on J6. Well, Bannon made sure the shock troops were deployed.
And spending funds that have not been appropriated or making obligations that exceed agency regulations violate the Anti-Deficiency Act. Now, there are a lot of people who think the government is too large and that it should scale back its spending. That is a totally valid point of view. But what is not legitimate is the executive
I mean, it's not. The government's not any bigger. Like, if you're talking about government employees, it's not any bigger. It hasn't, gotten any bigger since like the 60s.
Unilaterally cutting spending required by law in violation of the Constitution and numerous other federal laws. And that is what's happening here. It is incredibly illegal. Moving fast and breaking things doesn't work when you are messing with systems that are, again, required by law. And it's an especially bad sign when the same party controls all three branches of government. Not in the sense of making policy that some people won't like, but in the sense that Trump could accomplish all of these things by simply asking Congress to pass laws to that effect. Congress could pass a law tomorrow to delete USAID, the CFPB, or the Department of Education. But even though Republicans control both houses of Congress, many, if not most, of these cuts would likely fail to pass. And President Trump and Elon Musk seek to circumvent the proper process entirely, while at the same time they vilify the judges who are enjoining their plainly illegal acts and preserving the status quo. But that's probably just the beginning of the illegal acts. What about all the data that they're accessing and changing? Let's start with the Privacy Act of 1974. Under this law, no one can disclose a private record unless, quote, the individual to whom a record pertains consents unless there is an exception. These exceptions would be if officers and employees of the agency, quote, have a need for the record in the performance of their duties, or if there is a routine use stipulated in the SORN. Now, these exceptions don't appear to apply in this case. And Musk's Treasury break-in also arguably violates the Internal Revenue Code section 6103, which protects taxpayer information from unauthorized access or disclosure. The BFS processes tax returns and other IRS-related payments.
Yeah, no, the Dems, to some degree, are pathetic. Like there was complaints, apparently, from some Democrats about organizations that were suggesting that their constituents called Democratic senators to ask them not to approve any nominees, to grind processes to a halt while Elon's doing this shit. And they were mad. They were mad that they were being pushed.
And by giving Doge operatives access to these systems, IRS records...
Yeah, they said they're aroused. How dare you arouse our voting base?
Including individual tax return data, may have been improperly exposed. Section 6103 prohibits federal employees and third parties from accessing or disclosing taxpayer return information unless specifically authorized. This section of the law was strengthened after Richard Nixon misused tax records to target political opponents. Now, even high-ranking officials, including the president, have limited access to tax return data, at least in theory. Now, willful unauthorized access or disclosure of tax return information is a felony under IRC 7213, punishable by fines and imprisonment. Additionally, the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act makes it a crime to intentionally access a federal computer system without authorization or exceed authorization access to obtain sensitive information. 18 U.S.C. 1030 covers the theft or misuse of government data. And we already know that Musk has shared specific federal payment records, which could be evidence of unauthorized disclosure of protected data. Under that same section, there's intentional damage to a protected computer, which punishes unauthorized access for personal or political gain. Those sections might apply if Doge accessed Treasury data for political targeting, corporate advantage, or to manipulate federal spending. The CFAA violations carry severe consequences, including fines and up to 10 years in prison for serious offenses. There's also the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which limits access to credit data that includes Social Security numbers to those who have a permissible purpose under the law. And then the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, known as HIPAA, protects the privacy of health information that identifies an individual and restricts healthcare organizations from disclosing such information to others without the patient's consent. And obviously, it's illegal to disclose someone's Social Security number without their consent. The Identity Theft and Assumption Deterrence Act, 18 U.S.C. 1028, also applies. This law makes it a federal crime to knowingly and intentionally use someone's Social Security number to commit identity theft or fraud. Penalties for identity theft can include fines and imprisonment up to 15 years or both. And there's also the Social Security Number Protection Act of 2010, which imposes restrictions on the use of Social Security numbers by businesses and entities. And many states have their own laws and provide additional protection for Social Security numbers, including restrictions on how Social Security numbers can be used, shared, and stored. But it seems like Doge's access to the U.S. Treasury means that Musk can see all federal disbursements, including those from the Department of Veterans Affairs. This system contains sensitive information such as Social Security numbers and VA benefit details of numerous veterans. 38 U.S.C. 5701 protects veterans' records held by the VA, including benefits, medical history, and personal identifiers. And VA records cannot be shared without the veteran's consent. But Musk's actions also pose massive foreign intelligence and espionage risks. Past government breaches, including the 2013 OPM hack by Chinese operatives, highlight how dangerous it is when government data is not properly secured. And the irony of all this is that just 6 weeks ago, the US government was sounding the alarm about China using TikTok to steal your private information, and now the government is handing over private information to Elon Musk personally. Now, obviously, you're going to try and shut down.
Yeah, I hadn't put that together until just now.
The entire government. You'll probably want a good lawyer. But if you want a great lawyer, let my law firm, the Eagle Team.
Oh my God.
In a car crash, if you've suffered a
Ethical React. Ethical React.
Or dealing with a workers' comp or Social Security issue, we can represent you or help find you the right attorney. It's so important to talk to a lawyer right away so you can maximize.
Wait, my bird?
We don't get paid unless you do, so there's nothing up front. So click on the link in the description or call the phone number that's on screen for a free consultation with my team. Because you don't just need a legal team, you need the Eagle Team. But unfortunately, it's a big problem when the alarm is coming from inside the house. So many of these laws require enforcement by the executive. And if the executive grants authority or just refuses to prosecute violations, there's not a lot that can be done, which leaves a limited number of instances when private citizens can sue on their own behalf. Now, citizens can sue the government if their privacy rights are violated under certain privacy acts. And that's already started to happen. On February 3rd, the Alliance for Retired Americans, the AFL-CIO, and the Service Employees International Union filed lawsuits against Besant, the Department of the Treasury, and the BFS. The plaintiffs seek declaratory and injunctive relief to stop the unlawful disclosure of personal and financial information to Elon Musk and members of Doge. The plaintiffs argue that millions of individuals, including retirees, taxpayers, federal employees, and contractors, are affected by this unprecedented access, compromising their sensitive data without their consent. The federal employees did not consent to these disclosures, nor, I assume, did anyone who was watching this video. The plaintiffs say that when Besant gave Doge full access to the Bureau's records and computer systems, he violated the Privacy Act of 1974's public notice requirements. And additionally, the complaint alleges that when the Treasury makes a change of this magnitude under the Administrative Procedures Act, it must give a System of Records Notice, or SORN, in the Federal Register for 30 days while allowing public comment before taking any action. And on February 6th, a federal judge granted plaintiffs a preliminary injunction limiting the access of Doge employees to the Treasury. Now, the order is a mixed bag. It does not give Musk the ability to review or change Treasury data, which is good, but this may not matter since Musk has had access to the data for at least 2 weeks. And the judge's order permits special government employee Marco Elez to have read-only access to the Treasury systems. But a Wired report on February 7th asserted that the Department of Justice lied about whether Elez had right access or not. And following that report, Elez resigned from Doge after his social media posts were discovered. He apparently advocated for eugenics and for the repeal of the Civil Rights Act. Elez tweeted, quote, "Normalize Indian hate, and 99% of Indian H-1Bs will be replaced by slightly smarter LLMs. They're going back, don't worry, guys." And, quote, "You couldn't pay me to marry outside of my ethnicity." But don't worry, Musk conducted a poll on Twitter about whether Elez should return. And what a surprise, the incel brigade on Twitter thinks that he should return. Vice President J.D. Vance, who is married to an Indian American, and President Trump also spoke out on his behalf. But it looks like the restrictions will remain in place while the lawsuit proceeds. But again, this is a mixed bag. Several reporters have claimed that Doge employees, including Elez, have already made extensive changes to the payment system's codebase with limited oversight. But the judge's order put a stop to that, and hopefully Doge employees will actually follow the order. Yeah, you can bet that you're going to hear me say, hopefully they follow the court order a lot in the coming years. Yeah, can we just make up a graphic that says, hopefully they follow the court order? Because we're going to do that a lot. Additionally, Secretary Besant has now appointed Silicon Valley's Tom Krause as his assistant. So apparently Krause is one of Musk's top lieutenants, and he now has access to the payment system as well. And to summarize, Krause told Treasury career staff to stop payments to USAID. The staffer resisted, saying it was illegal, and the staffer was ousted. Krause's—
Now, Chad, I don't know how many people have heard this, but there's a theory about the USAID thing. I feel like there's some evidence to this effect, right? Something that was funded by USAID was looking into Elon Musk's deployment of the Starlink system, not just in Ukraine, but purportedly for Russian troops.
Is now head of payments at Treasury. Of course, the question on everyone's minds is who would prosecute Elon Musk and his operatives for disclosing taxpayer information. Now, traditionally, the FBI and the Department of Justice would investigate and prosecute people who break the law. But the Department of Justice is now stacked with MAGA lawyers like Ed Martin, who threatened to prosecute anyone who refused to give Musk and his men the access they demanded. Ed Martin is the current U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, and he's also the guy that dismissed charges against one of the January 6th insurrectionists, who he happened to be currently representing in private practice. You just can't make this up. Adding to our nightmares that Trump is trying to lay off over 5,000 of the FBI's 13,700 agents, basically half of the FBI, and is poised to install Kash Patel as head of the FBI. The states do have a role to play in enforcing the law, and a coalition of 19 Democratic states' attorneys general have filed a lawsuit to prevent Doge from accessing federal payment systems containing sensitive personal information. And there, the plaintiffs argue that granting Doge access to sensitive Treasury payment systems is arbitrary and capricious, lacks proper justification, and did not follow required procedures, thereby violating the Administrative Procedure Act. The states contend that Doge's access to Treasury records could interfere with funding already appropriated by Congress, exceeding the Treasury Department's statutory authority and violating the constitutional principle of separation of powers. They assert that Trump's actions violate the Take Care Clause of the Constitution, and the state's plaintiffs are also concerned that Doge's access poses significant cybersecurity risks that may compromise sensitive personal information and the integrity of the federal payment system. And related to that, a federal judge has temporarily blocked Doge from accessing the Treasury's payment system. The judge said, quote, "The court's firm assessment is that for the reasons stated by the states, they will face irreparable harm in the absence of injunctive relief. That is both because of the risk that the new policy presents of the disclosure of sensitive and confidential information, and the heightened risk that the systems in question will be more vulnerable than before to hacking. The court's further assessment is that, again, for the reasons given by the states have shown a likelihood of success on the merits of their claims, with the state's statutory claims presenting as particularly strong. The court's further assessment is that the balance of the equities, for the reasons stated by the states, favors the entry of emergency relief." And the judge has now granted the plaintiff state's motion for enforcement of a temporary restraining order. Now, mind you, a TRO is ultra temporary. It's just preserving the status quo so the court can learn more about the situation and the parties can provide further briefing. But the court issued the TRO to prohibit the defendants from implementing a broad categorical freeze on federal spending. The court agreed with plaintiffs that the Trump administration is not complying with the order, and the judge emphasized that the government must promptly comply with court orders, citing Manis versus Myers, the Supreme Court, which says, quote, "Persons who make private determinations of the law and refuse to obey an order generally risk criminal contempt, even if the order is ultimately ruled incorrect." The court found that the defendants had notice of the TRO, that the order was clear and unambiguous, and that there were no impediments to compliance. Despite this, evidence presented by the plaintiff states indicated that the defendants continued to freeze federal funds and refused to resume disbursement of appropriated funds, which violated the TRO. The Trump administration argued that the freezes were intended to prevent fraud. However, the court noted that these freezes resulted from a broad categorical order rather than a specific findings of potential fraud. The court reiterated that such sweeping freezes are likely unconstitutional and cause for irreparable harm.
And the scary thing about that is it implies that had they tried to do this stuff a little bit more piecemeal, had they tried to kind of cherry pick what they were shutting down funding for, they might have gotten away with it.
Thus violating the TRO. So what does the Trump administration have to do now? Well, quote, "Immediately restore frozen funding during the pendency of the TRO until the court hears and decides the preliminary injunction request. Immediately end any federal funding pause during the pendency of the TRO. Immediately take every step necessary to effectuate the TRO, including clearing any administrative, operational, or technical hurdles to implementation. Comply with the plain text of the TRO not to pause any funds based on pronouncements pausing funding incorporated into the OMB directive, like Section 7A of the Unleashing Executive Order and the OMB Unleashing Guidance. Immediately restore withheld funds, including those federal funds appropriated in the Inflation Reduction Act and the Infrastructure Improvement and Jobs Act, and resume the funding of institutes and other agencies of the defendants, for example, the National Institute for Health, that are included in the scope of the court's TRO. Now, so far, the Trump administration has been at least telling the court that they are complying or attempting to comply with various orders. It'll be another issue entirely if they just outright ignore orders like Musk and Trump have been saying that they will do. So it's going to be important to watch what happens in the wake of this particular TRO. Now, when the court stopped Elon Musk from accessing US Treasury data, almost 400 sources reported on it, with the vast majority of them coming from the center and the left. But when you examine the headlines, you start to see some very different frames emerge that shape how readers interpret and understand the events that are unfolding. On the right, headlines emphasize Musk's claims that he found $50 billion worth of fraud at the Treasury Department, implying these claims correlate to the judge's ruling and implying that Elon Musk actually did find fraud. And headlines from the right also point to small legal ambiguities in the judge's ruling that could lead to it being overturned, a story angle largely absent from headlines on the left and center sources, who mainly focus on the risks of Elon Musk having unfettered access to sensitive and critical data. Now, the headlines you read first have immense power to shape how you understand the news. And that's why I like to see the news from as many angles as possible.
Is this ground news?
Which I can do with the help of today's sponsor, Ground.
This is Ground News.
Ground News is a website and app developed by a former NASA engineer on a mission to give readers an easy, data-driven, objective way.
Wait, first market authorization of nicotine pouch
to read the news. And right now they're offering Legal Eagle viewers 40% off their unlimited access.
Anyway, chat, I have got to get to bed. I'm going to thank my Patreons once again. I couldn't do it without you, Patreons. Everybody who supports me on Patreon gets my videos before they come out to YouTube in a uncensored sort of way, and sometimes with a few extra scenes, right? This is you get the videos in their early stage, right? Everybody that supports me at the $5 level or greater also gets a fancy shout out. So let me do those now. Shouts out to Oral's Ellipsis, to Temporal Insanity, to Stephanie, to Shakespeare, to shouts out to Funky Monkey, shouts out to Nadia Yvette Chambers, shouts out to Moe Noe, shouts out to My Goggles, shouts out to Just Julie, shouts out to Jules K, Shouts out to Infallible Fowl. Shouts out to Hot Ham Radio. Shouts out to Good for Gabby. Shouts out to Buffy Geek. Shouts out to Animus. And a fancy shout out to Zero Xerix, to Rachel K, to Crystal Saphira, and to Omega Star. And with that, chat, I must bid you adieu because I am about to fall asleep. I will be back tomorrow with more content, hopefully a little bit earlier than I've been doing. So yeah, I will see you at that point. And wait. Thank you, mods. Thank you to everybody that supports me in whatever way that you do, even if that's with your thumb. Thumb gang, you are appreciated. I couldn't do it without you, thumb gang. It's a simple little action of your thumb to press that like button, and yet it does so much to help the channel. So thank you for using your thumbs. And thank you again, mods. I'm gonna read us into Echoplex here, and then I am gonna go to sleep, and I will see you again